All right, welcome everybody to Kingdom Within. Today we have our special guest here, Loyal Tangie. Um, but before we go any further, let me play the intro. Gotta play that intro, you know.
And you can change it in a nick of time. Even if you decide to leave the stars behind. You say one word, I say amazing. You say one word, I say amazing.
All right, so yeah, we've got Brother Loyal Tangie with us today. Um, Let me read some comments here real quick before we get started. It says, hi, brother. Yes. Hey, Harvey. Um, Hi, Loyal. Okay. Alan says, hello, Tala and Loyal. Praying the Lord will bless big time. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Alan.
Okay. All right. And today we're going to be talking about the specific topic right here. But we have a bonus top at the end, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be quite interesting if you ask me. So, yeah, are public parks more than we think? Let's start off with this video real quick. For those of you who haven't seen it yet, let's start off with this video that I made. It was last month. Yeah, it was last month. Okay. Let me pause the music.
Bryant Park, a 4-acre park that's kind of like the backyard to the New York Public Library. Originally, around when the grid system of streets was being designed for this area of Manhattan in the early 1800s, this lot, and where the public library is said to previously be a potter's field, which is a nice way of saying a graveyard full of poor people at that time. Shortly thereafter, the city began to construct the Croton Distributing Reservoir, which was a giant reservoir with 50 feet walls that were 25 feet thick for fresh water for the city, coming from the much larger receiving reservoir that is actually where Central Park now sits. And all of that was coming from the Croton Reservoir 41 miles north of that city through giant pipes powered by an unknown force. Next to the reservoir, a public park was made in 1870, and eventually the reservoir was removed and the park was extended. Now it eventually would get the name Bryant Park to honor the longtime editor of the New York Evening Post, William Cullen Bryant, in 1884. And that's when the library was commissioned to be built. The park would go through a lot between then and now, with periods of construction and deconstruction, and even crime. It would eventually be redesigned though in the early 90s to more or less the same layout that we have here, now with more and more attractions and events added since. And now it's a great little spot to just have a coffee and maybe work using the free Wi-Fi that they have, or just hang out. I believe the narrative that is given to us about Bryant Park is most likely false, especially the part when it says they built the so-called Croton Distributing Reservoir. 50 feet walls that were 25 feet thick? Yeah, nice try. The truth is, they discovered it and eventually tore it down, only to turn it into a park that is probably useless compared to what it originally was.
So yeah, what would you like to say about this, Brother Loyal?
Yeah, it just seems definitely a lot that was going on here just for a park.
Yeah,
Awful large building there, and we had talked about this a little bit earlier, and We always got a fountain out there. I saw the earlier pictures of the what looked like some kind of construction, so it seems like that's the original fountain. But just the way that the map also looked, it just looks like a circuit board kind of thing.
Yeah, yep,
Very intricate. I mean, buildings and parks are known for their geometric design and stuff.
exactly.
What is it to that though that is really the underlying hidden energy or truth that's going on? Is we're still uncovering it, but there's something to it.
Yeah, there's definitely something to it, and this isn't the only park, I believe, that has very interesting hidden things on it. Here's another park in Utah. Let me share that screen real quick. I'll just share the whole window. 1 second. Okay, so here's the place in Utah. It's titled "This Is the Place." All right, so This Is the Place Heritage Park in Salt Lake City, and it got its name from the Mormon pioneer Brigham Young. Those of you who don't know who Brigham Young is, I guess he's supposed to be like one of the high-ranking Mormon pioneers. I guess they call him a president, so they say that he's a. 1 second, let me. Forgot about this. But yeah, so this was made. Not too sure who built it, and I'm not saying that man cannot, construct something that like this. But here's the thing. Check this out. Let me go to that other image. Oh no, did I lose it? I got an idea. I think it's right here. Yeah, so right here. When you look at this image right here, it looks completely deserted. It looks completely deserted. There's no trees around it. There's basically nothing. It looks like they discovered it and pulled their cameras out and was like, oh, check this out, guys. I found another monument. Gotta take this picture. But then when you look at this, it looks totally different. You got a whole bunch more trees around it. Like they're definitely taking care of the area here, especially when you compare it to this. It just looks weird. It looks off. Looks like it's been there for a lot longer than we think. But I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there, right, Loyal?
Well, yeah, we looked that up, and it claims that it was built in 1947, but that was a long time ago. But it's such a large monument out in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then also what we were noticing is the three men up on top there seemed like they were well fed, well dressed, and the lower level people here were like more peasant like up there. So I don't know what that was representing. It turns out it's something to do with the Mormon faith and them determining this was the place that they ended their 1,100-mile journey.
Right.
Pioneer Trail, the Mormon Pioneer Trail. And then they decided to build this.
Mm-hmm.
In 1947, though.
Right.
That's what they say. So Who knows? I mean, it may be something that was newly constructed, but it still is in a weird place, and
Mm-hmm. Especially when comparing it to how it looks now, today, it looks completely different. It looks like a totally different place. But it isn't. It's the exact same spot. They just, basically did some landscaping around here.
well, even the big monuments like Rushmore and stuff. It's obviously something
Yeah,
weird happened there too.
right.
You have the story of a father and his son, I guess, that was supposedly chiseled out all these faces with air hammers and dynamite, and was never made a mistake to where they had to, blew off a nose or something.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look up close at these chisel marks, they're like so uniform. It almost looks like it's like a concrete overlay that was just sculpted that way, in the sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people have pointed out that maybe there was another face on there too, or
Mm-hmm.
if you look just around to the left of the average picture that you'll see of it, you'll see what looks like melted rock right behind the area. And there was actually a passageway through there before that's no longer there, that was removed or something.
Where's this at?
Rushmore.
Oh, Rushmore.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore.
Let's go there. Mount Rushmore.
But like Alan said, yes, the more we look into it, the more we find out that everything's been reset and whitewashed. Yeah, if you look just to the left of, I think that's Hamilton on the left, Alexander Hamilton, that whole area back behind there to the left is just some really weird rock work, and even on the right side,
Wow. What in the world? Yeah. What is going on there?
Someone says at one point there was like a fifth face on there, and that's potentially where we get the term Vikings, like 5 kings or something. I don't know.
So this is
Maybe
Lincoln.
the original. I don't know.
That's
Some
who they
people are
say
trying
it
to
is, right?
It's a Tartaria.
Wow.
What was up there originally, But this is a defacing.
Wow.
Or even the fact that these faces that we've come to know as the people that they are not the faces of those people.
Right, right. I mean,
But I watch a lot of different things just to get a well-rounded idea. I'm not endorsing anything necessarily, but we can see a very weird rock formation there in the background area in the sides.
and the way the rocks look on the left and right of the monuments, they look completely different.
Yeah. Maybe it was the original Vikings of before Armageddon or something that people were worshiping. And part of the fury came down and melted that mountainside, and then afterwards they re-chiseled in these faces or whatever this is. I mean, it's not nothing, it's something. We just don't know what it is exactly.
Right, right.
That's the same thing like with, a lot of things like chemtrails. Somebody was like, who was actually an old pilot, not a commercial pilot, but somebody that I was talking with, and they're like, no, those are condensation trails, and like, come out because of this, and this is what happens. He knew exactly how to explain what contrails were, but I said, yeah, I know what contrails are, but those aren't contrails, those are chemtrails. And he finally was kind of convinced, but you could just see the programming in him was so against it that he was, more or less probably just being quiet so he didn't have to argue anymore. Or not argue, but
For
But
rather cheap.
yeah, we don't know exactly what's in these chemtrails, but we know they're there. That's something. It's not for no reason. We don't have planes flying these weird crisscross patterns that don't even.
Exactly.
I live in California, and we have patterns where there's nothing. There's no where are they going?
Mm-hmm.
They're going out over the ocean in a weird way, and then they're coming back later on, and we get grids just like everybody does, but it's like at least when you're on a lot of land around you, you look at a grid and you're like, well, it's they're affecting somebody else over there or whatever, or they're going somewhere, so it could be a contrail to the person that doesn't know.
Right.
But when it's going out to the ocean in various directions, this way and that way and that way, all different angles, and they're all leaving these trails behind that just take over the sky, that's something. It's not nothing.
Exactly. Alan's talking about Central Park. Central Park was built over a town full of rich black Americans in 1828, according to Wikipedia. USA has been reset and whitewashed. I agree. I heard someone say Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Don't know myself, just throwing it out there. Wonder if anyone has any of the sure to share anything else. But yeah, these were definitely something else, and they tore it down for a reason. Especially this one. My question is, are there multiple parks that have the same type of construction as this? If any of you guys know that, please share, because I was trying to find some similar to this situation here, which I'm sure there are, but we just don't know. Here's some photos of this place, the Heritage Park. Some more photos. These could have been put on here decades after. Of course, they want to push their Joseph Smith narrative.
Mm-hmm.
There was a photo that it showed of a very primitive area. Yeah, seeing the trek. See, around that time, they were traveling like this. And then they built stuff like this. Makes completely no sense. Oh, man.
R.E. Fry said Mount Rushmore, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Oh.
That would be interesting.
Wait, what did he say?
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John were
Uh-huh.
either the faces or are the faces on there, potentially.
Oh. That's interesting. But yeah, you see right here, they try to make it look like when they came to this area, it looked like this. I call bull. It's a bunch of lies. Let's go to that Central Park, what Alan was talking about. Central Park Wikipedia. And of course, we can't trust everything Wikipedia says, so we'll just sort of cherry pick our way through here. 1857, it says. Let me zoom in. Central Park is an urban park in the New York City located between the Upper West and Upper East sides of Manhattan. It is the fifth largest park. Okay, because if we go here, No, not here. Where's that? Where it showed the 10 biggest parks in New York. So this is the fifth one, covering 843 acres. It is the most visited urban park in the United States. Yeah, this is the one that's on a bunch of movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
With an estimated 42 million visitors annually. And is the most filmed location in the world. Yep, just like I said. After proposals for a large park in Manhattan during the 1840s, it was approved in 1853. The landscape architects Frederick Law Olmsted and for the park, the Greenwood plan construction began the same year. Existing structures, including a majority black settlement named Seneca Village. Seneca Village. Yeah, he's right. That's what Wikipedia is basically saying. But why though? Why are they doing that? Yeah, right when I seen this Seneca Village, I see Alan put that in the comments. Check under Seneca Village. Yeah. Seneca Village was a 19th century settlement of mostly African American landowners. It seems like, when you start researching these type of things, you start realizing that this area was filled with the majority of African Americans, correct?
Yeah, I mean they're coming up the Moors, I guess, and
Yeah.
you know,
Interesting, man. And it's funny enough, I was just watching a video literally right before I texted you, Brother Loyal. Right before I texted you, I was watching this, and this is proof within my history on YouTube. I was watching this video right here, and this guy is talking about, basically the real black history. Let me just go ahead and play it real quick for you guys. It's pretty interesting stuff. And let me pause this.
yeah, Rebecca, we were talking about golf courses earlier too. When I was talking with Tala before we started, and it just seems like such large areas. I know one thing about golf courses that they were used for people to be able to talk, uh, their secrets and things like that, be able to get things
Mm-hmm.
accomplished. And out in the fairway, they all these terms have a meaning too,
Yeah.
and they could have their discussions knowing they weren't being spied upon, or at least not as easily spied upon.
Right, right.
But then also there's probably a energy field type attribute to them as well. You always
Definitely,
have the
man.
water hazards there, and I don't know, the pins that go in the ground. Um, who knows what that all might have been initially.
Right, and how
I
they
know you
say
can.
this.
I know you can put copper. Something I just learned recently about plants, and I do. I grow pretty good gardens. I haven't grown recently, but I'm planning to again. And but they can benefit from a copper rod in the soil wrapped around, like it's a copper wire wrapped around like a iron rod or something, and put into the soil.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, it's an ancient way of gardening, that utilizes the energy frequencies in the soil, which causes the plants to require less water, and less fertilization and yield more bountiful crops.
Right.
And yeah, along with that, yeah, using iron tools and metal tools disrupts the electrical frequency of the soil. So evidently, people that knew of this used copper hammered tools or copper gardening tools
Mm-hmm.
or stuff that was wrapped in copper and hammered into it, kind of thing, and formed into it, as to not
Yeah.
disturb the electrical magnetism of the soil. So all these things that are built, they we've seen time and time again the videos showing just different variations of these. I mean, that kind of looks Star Fortish a little bit too.
Yeah, it does.
The band, what are
It
they called?
does.
Bands or, and
The
then that
star
whole grid
forts.
around there, the surrounding neighborhood. Is that the power center for this area, or was that the
It's
collecting of the energy?
the
Was that where they
map of the.
collected the energy?
Yeah, and it's all connected with the that monument in Bryant Park. That's connected to this area here. It's crazy, man. And look at this brickwork. Just look at that work right where this dam is. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just amazing that stuff that's been there so long is just still there.
Yeah, it's still here today in great condition.
Yeah,
Not to mention, see, it's about, I believe it's 5 miles away from the park. Yeah, the Croton Distributing Reservoir is right here, and it was connected to this. Man, just makes you wonder what the heck was this for? Had to be for something, man. Something that has to do with energy, for sure.
yeah. I mean, it may have been. I don't know if it said, but it may have been salt water, or was it?
Um, I'm not too sure if it was salt or fresh, but I know it was connected to this. And
Oh,
then
okay. It was fresh.
they had these pipes right here. You see this under the ground?
Mm-hmm.
Look how large they are, bro. There was
Yeah,
water
something
going
major
through.
going on there.
Yeah, there was water going through here, and this tunnel goes from the Croton Reservoir all the way to Bryant Park, where the mine is at, under the ground. So they tore it all down right here, tore it all down. Man, yep, they tore it down here. And they're always messing with these areas. Like for example, Salt Lake City Temple. They're always renovating it, bro.
Yeah.
Every
Oh, yeah.
freaking year. It's like what the heck, man? What's wrong with the building? You know what's going on?
Yeah. I mean, they get a budget. They got to use it, otherwise they don't get as much next year. But still, like, it's like, why would you?
Yeah.
Once things are done. I mean, the building obviously, whoever constructed it did an excellent job. It's not
Mm-hmm.
going anywhere. So, what are the things that it needs?
It's just like the La Sagrada Familia. This cathedral, whatever the heck it is,
Oh yeah, that's
this thing, they're always renovating it. And every photo you find, the majority of the photos that you find, you're gonna see them renovating it. Look at this. They got
yeah,
some construction up here. Let's go to another photo. Same thing with this one. Same thing with this one.
yeah,
See, they're just always messing with it, bro. Like, what the heck? It, if it's that hard to take care of, just tear the damn thing down. You know? Like, what's so hard about it? Like,
yeah.
there's
What are they?
obviously
What are they
something they're
doing?
doing.
I mean, why would you
Yeah,
need that crane? Like they're adding another
exactly.
wing.
Why are they doing this? They're obviously trying to prevent something. You know? Maybe they're trying to prevent something. I just don't understand why they still have it standing if it's and the inside of it is just out of this world.
Yeah, I mean, how would anybody even comprehend that kind of construction?
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying just 'cause I
Exactly.
didn't can't think of it and wouldn't don't give myself I wouldn't give be able to comprehend something like that. It doesn't mean somebody couldn't, but this is, where do you get the funding for this? Where do you get the wholehearted devotion of
Yes.
the people that helped build this? You
Right.
know, where
Especially if it was in a time when they say, it's horse and buggy, you
yeah,
know, and the tools they had. Come on,
yeah,
man.
and then you see what they live in themselves. I mean, you think they could have made themselves a tiny version of it.
Right.
It's not something how to
Exactly.
build this stuff like they could have, or not even necessarily of this, but you just when you see the peasant type homes that they show everywhere along near this type of stuff
Uh
of
huh.
the black and white pictures, it's just it doesn't match up.
It's crazy,
And there
man.
could be the poor and the rich in between kind of thing too, but it still just doesn't match up because like back then it just seemed like there was just massive construction things going on. That's what they tell us.
Uh
But in
huh.
reality, what were people doing with most of their lives? They had to farm to eat food. They had to
Mm
grow
hmm.
stuff or do something more in that field. Like this isn't had nothing to do with eating or livestock or anything like that. So anybody working on this was not working on keeping people alive in another sense,
Right. See?
or their own
Video.
family. They're relying, oh, somebody's going to give me food for me working 5 years building this.
Mm
Who's
hmm.
providing for those people?
Right.
Well, they dedicated their lives to doing this kind of thing. That it's not searching for water. They're not digging wells. They're not hunting food. They're not growing crops.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let me play this real quick.
Just observing.
I will be right back, brother. 1 second.
Sure. Sanctus. Probably detuning it ultimately. These guys doing it.
Sorry about that. I got some family members here, and they're kind of loud.
No, don't worry about that, man. It's good to have family.
Hopefully, you guys, yeah,
Good to have family. Anybody that is irritated by that, you got other things going on.
yeah. So there's so many things, man, about these buildings, these parks. Bryant Park being like the major one. I need to do more research on this one here. The Heritage Park. There's a lot more to this area than I know. Let's go to the comments real quick. Point taken, brother. Yeah, for sure. The trolls need Jesus. He said the trolls need Jesus too. For sure, brother. Yes. Don't feed the trolls, guys. Yeah. It's a water reservoir. Right. So what exactly is a reservoir for, though? Is what we are taught.
Reserves water. Yeah.
Yeah, but is that should we believe what they tell us? You know, that's the question.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we're at with just about everything, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it's the way we are with everything. It has to be,
Yep.
you know, because it usually is not the case as of what they state. So,
Yep.
and then we, you know, why? Why is it always everything covered up or coded? Or why is there always, you know, something else to it?
I like how you pointed that out. It is like that with everything. Literally. Everything that we've been taught from grade school to college. It's
Well,
crazy,
just
man.
in, what was it earlier? NASA supposedly shot a rocket, the DART rocket.
Oh, yeah. I want to see that.
Yeah, and it was funny because I happened to be like looking at some, doing some research, and I just happened to see that on there. I was like, I'll click on it. So I clicked on
my
it, and it
goodness.
was gonna start like in 2 minutes, and live from that time from that I clicked on it, and it took like. Actually, I don't know how long it took. I know it took over 15 minutes from the time they said they were going live, at least, to where any kind of even camera kind of, you know, blacked out camera came on the screen. And I clicked out because I just had it in the background. And then I saw the video that they actually showed, and it, oh man, it is comical. It is so comical. And I was reading, hold on, I got to plug in my laptop. I was reading some of the comments, and I was just like, really kind of, you know, seeing a lot of people are a lot more awake than they used to be, and willing to be vocal about it too, you know, because they were just hammering them in the comments as, you know, how did you get through the firmament? You know, oh, nice try was another one of them. People put, does anybody believe any of this anymore? You know, and just tons of likes on, you know. So, but the video they ended up showing just looked like some kind of toffee peanut or something like that. That was just got, you know, in increments. It wasn't even a fluid video. It was just, and then all of a sudden, the screen froze, and then everybody in NASA started jumping up and high fiving. You know, the same scenario they always do, and hugging and wiping a tear from their eye and walking over to the other room and giving the big, gray fat guy a big hug, like he's some kind of dad of that control room, you know, like it's, yeah, we couldn't do it without you, Papa. You know,
that was just today.
That was today, yeah. I love that footage you see when they land the rockets or when something happens, you know, and they all go just overboard nuts, you know.
Oh my goodness.
We helped. But it's
Dude.
like the footage is just comical. So when you think, okay, that rocket, I guess this was like I don't know how many month-long program this was, but ultimately the taxpayer dollars go to this farce.
Mm-hmm.
And it's under the guy. Oh, we're preparing just in case we ever do have a threatening meteor coming towards us that we're gonna be able to save the world. And it was just so comical, the footage, and then the backup from the network news, which they were just like, oh my goodness, this is just oh well, like almost crying over this.
It's amazing.
It was really amazing, full blown.
Oh, I found it. Let me go to it.
You couldn't even believe the footage on it is just so comical. It's the least believable thing you've ever seen.
Make it big screen.
Welcome, and thank you for joining us from Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory, home to the DART Mission Operations Center. I'm your host, Tahira Allen with NASA Communications, and tonight we're following the real-time journey of the DART spacecraft and its planned collision with asteroid Dimorphos. The Double Asteroid Redirection Test, also known as DART, is the world's first planetary defense test mission of its kind. At 7:14 p.m. Eastern, it will demonstrate an asteroid deflection technique known as kinetic impact. Rest assured, this is only a test. The asteroid DART intends to impact is not a threat to Earth now, nor will it be after the collision. We have live views of the action from space, so keep an eye on the DART cam in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. Right now, you're only seeing a black screen with a single point of light. That point contains 2 asteroids in it. Didymos, with a smaller asteroid named Dimorphos orbiting around it. As long as we continue to receive these live views from DART, we're going to keep
Dimorphos.
that feed up on your screen.
It's so funny because they have these people on here. There's newscasters or whatever reading off a teleprompter.
Yeah.
Energetically. Like she really knows all this stuff off the top of her head.
Yeah. Oh man, this is hilarious.
Huh. Armored Raven. Anagram for Tard.
What they say? Oh, anagram for Tard. They're mocking. For sure. Tower of Babel is a no, but rockets and ships are okay.
The energy they put into the deception is just
70 minutes out from impact
it's just it's laughable.
Let's now meet
laughable.
your co-host, Samson Rainey, joining us live from the Mission Operations Center. Samson, it's good to see you. How does it feel to be in the middle of the action tonight?
Hey Tahira, I am feeling great. It is awesome to be back here after co-hosting DART's launch just 10 short months ago. How's the energy over there?
Yeah,
Wow,
10
that's
months
amazing,
supposedly it's
Samson.
been launched to this thing, and then they got right to it. Yeah, was it 6 billion miles away or 6 million miles? 6 million doesn't sound like much.
Yeah, I think it's 6.
Because they love to throw the millions and billions around. Like
Yeah,
anything.
and even trillions.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's
because it doesn't
amazing.
have the shock value anymore. Yeah, now we got the trillions.
Yeah.
And you know, everybody's super
Alan,
excited.
Alan says, live views of a simulation that, it's very fake. Very fake.
talking to some scientists.
We're gonna work an hour and something minutes. It looks like on the down there below. It says this whole thing is just to show and probably gonna regurgitate over and over the few minutes of CGI footage they have.
Oh my goodness.
But meanwhile, they lay the foundation for everything. Like,
yeah.
But there's never been anything like what we're about to see tonight, an attempt to impact an asteroid.
Oh wow. So we're about to witness something that we've never seen before.
yeah,
guys.
well, you're not gonna see anything. At least from the movie I've seen so far, no one sees anything. We're just gonna explain to you what happened.
Get ready to be blown away.
But in near real time. Francisco, the eyes of smart.
Miles. And now, in just over an hour, we'll witness the spacecraft collide with asteroid Dimorphos in an attempt to change its orbit.
Oh, that name is hilarious, Dimorphos.
Forever. The DART spacecraft is about the size of a vending machine and uses hydrazine thrusters for propulsion and roll out solar arrays for power.
Wow.
It's traveling at about 14,000 miles per
Are
hour.
you serious?
The last 4 miles of its journey.
Are you kidding
Oh
me?
yeah, they're good. Yeah, they're gonna nail it. No question about it.
Live. Look at this. Is
Yeah.
live in space, guys. Check that out.
In just 1
Check that asteroid out. Wow.
second. DART is on a collision course with asteroid Dimorphos, which is about the height of the Washington Monument, and more importantly,
Petrified
poses no threat
piece of
to Earth.
stone or
Dimorphos
prehistoric poop.
Oh my goodness.
Sits within a double asteroid system and is the smaller moonlet asteroid
Wow.
orbiting its
All
larger
measured out for you,
companion,
Aaron.
Didymos. DART has
666
just
feet
one
tall.
instrument on board, and that's a Draco camera, which is feeding images to its autonomous.
This reminds me of like PlayStation 1, bro.
Oh, this is like, I don't even know what megapixels are nowadays, but I remember there's something like 240p or something.
240p or 480p.
Yeah.
Its navigation system, steering it straight into the asteroid.
And nothing live about it. It just,
Yeah.
footage I saw, it just advanced. It got closer and then closer, and then it just
From
stopped.
around the world have
You
worked
didn't,
hard
you didn't even
to
see
get
an
us to this
explosion
point.
of it. You just the frame
What the team has
freeze and
planned
just stayed
for
there, and then
months
everybody
years
got
ago
all
is
happy. That's when you
ever
knew it was a
wanted.
success.
Wow.
Bobby, you've been through so many white knuckle experiences with space missions, most recently with the landing of the Mars Perseverance rover just last year. What is the mindset of the team coming to such a major moment in their career with the stakes being so high?
Well, teams like this prepare for the worst, but
Yeah.
celebrate the best. And I think we're going to have one of those best nights tonight. There are, of course, many things that could go wrong in spaceflight, but so far this team's been on top of every possible problem. They've been ahead of it.
So people are saying, well, what's the likelihood of you hitting it and going the wrong direction? You know, 'cause this is just a test, really. They don't have to do this. It's not endangering anything, supposedly. Well, I mean, it doesn't exist. We know that, but in their world. So,
Oh, there it goes. There goes the clapping.
it was success. We
Miles
did it.
away.
All right.
I love this one clip right here.
Great job. We
Also,
did it.
our window for sending any commands to the spacecraft is done.
Wow.
Wow.
Contingency done.
Wow.
Someone press the button. Clap.
Amazing.
Connected.
This is a great vibe in that mission
All right.
operations center right now, Lori.
This stuff just
It
sickens
really
me when
is.
with the homeless problem we have in the United States and
Exactly,
any other
man.
problems we have going on. And they get
Exactly.
56 million a day, is it? That's just
It's
federal
ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous the amount of money that goes there.
every day of the week.
Nobody should be poor. There should be
Yeah.
absolutely no one that is poor on
That's-
earth right now.
That amount doesn't even include the private donations from these
Exactly.
that donate part of their wealth to them on their death, or even just for tax purposes. They still get it, you know.
It's insane, bro. It is sickening, man. That's the perfect word for it. It's sick.
The culmination of all of this is just
And they complain about the homeless problem. Like, oh, how can we fix this homeless problem? Duh. Look how much
If you
money
get-
you're putting towards this.
if you gave every state $56 million, in you actually used it for the homeless. It didn't get diverted somewhere else. You know,
Right.
have the homeless population not only eradicated very soon, but the optimism would be there to accelerate it.
Mm-hmm.
If homeless people saw that something was actually being legitimately done for them, you know. But I just watched a video where in Los Angeles, $150 million in vouchers were returned to the city, supposedly, that never went out to homeless people that should have gotten them, you know.
Mm.
And people
I
end
feel
up
like we
homeless
should
for
all.
all types of reason, but you
Right,
know,
right.
more than ever, people are ended up homeless because of all the crap that's going on right now.
Mm-hmm. I feel like everybody should go on strike. Turn
Yeah.
against the government and say, hey, give us our money back, man.
There's a meme where there's a bunch of people leaning over and there's a chessboard on their back while the elites play chess, and it says just stand up and the game's over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure people have seen that one.
But yeah, Harvey, they don't try to hide it. They do not try to hide it anymore. It's laughable to them. It's crazy, man. Welcome, Andy. Good to have you, Andy Noble. PS1 graphics for sure.
Hi, Andy.
Crack that walnut. Crack that walnut clutch cargo.
So you go a little further on this video. Yeah, that girl that's right there, she cracks me up. She's so she seems so uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
Watch she puts her arms down, like at the end of the clapping and everything. I don't know if you can enlarge that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. 2 minutes out. Does not look like one single rock to me.
Oh, boy, we're getting close.
14,000 miles per hour, Lori.
14,000 miles per hour. And remember, 45 minutes ago, 55 minutes ago, we couldn't even resolve this object in space. And now we are, you can see us zeroing in right on target.
And we're now dropping the clock and we'll go by loss of signal to confirm impact.
Right. Yes. Imagine we'll get that loss of signal and then we'll hear from Lena Adams again, letting us.
Yeah, she looks uncomfortable.
Yeah, when they finally, like, when the mission is finally completed and when she really starts clapping and like high fives the other guy, it's just so weird looking. It just looks like someone pointed at her and said, go. Yeah. There it is.
And we have impact.
Right there.
Finally for humanity.
What?
Wow.
Awaiting
So
visual
that picture right there is the
confirmation.
final picture and nothing else happened.
All right.
That means they hit the target.
We got it?
Waiting.
Waiting.
I don't know how many billions
And we
that
have
cost to
impact.
calculate.
A triumph for humanity in the name of planetary defense.
Woo. Fantastic. Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Wow.
I'm gonna come over and give you a hug.
What a moment. Very few
There's the
words
hug.
can really
See,
capture
hug the
this
grandpa.
moment.
Hug
This is
the
beautiful to
papa.
watch.
I always notice that. Yeah, we hang out all the time.
Wow.
Aw,
Great
thank you.
job. Great job
Thank
at
you,
deceiving
Uber.
the world.
That's the Uber guy. He just dropped somebody out. And then
Yeah. Oh my
DoorDash.
goodness. That is crazy, man. Wow. Look at all
All
of
right,
them.
out to our Teslas.
I wonder how they feel or if they even know.
Everything's
like
so
I wonder.
compartmentalized that maybe it's possible many of them don't know.
Wow.
And I'm sure a lot of those gray hair guys know.
Yeah, for sure.
Mr. Suit over there, he knows.
Yep.
That's the head of the space division right there. Forget his name.
Funny thing is, they're really not trying to hide it. They're really not. It's,
Yeah.
it's
The masked up lady right in front of the camera. Get over here. In front of the camera.
Oh man. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a farce. Look at that guy smirk. Like, yeah, we're,
Yeah.
getting that 100-foot catamaran. Going sailing on my new yacht.
Yeah, I agree with Harvey. It's not just a joke. It is a very bad joke.
Yeah, because it affects
And
this
all
this
the
crap
nerds
affects real
rejoice.
people. The diversion of the money, the stealing of the money that has to be given to them,
Right.
and how
right.
the government gets it to give it to them. People's houses are being we're going into a housing crisis right now where people
Yeah.
are going to be losing homes. It will cost you twice as much to own the same home right now with the interest rates that are at what they are.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
So it's just disgusting because part of the reason why they take that money is to give it to the people like this.
Mm-hmm. He said the final picture looks like a close-up of my driveway. I
Yeah.
think a few know. Yeah, there's gotta be a few that know, for sure. I don't think that it knows though.
Well, kind of like how they said, I do think probably more than ever now, no. But they talk about when they built the hydrogen bomb that apparently it was so compartmentalized that it wasn't until later that they had revealed that something like, and I might have this number wrong, but something like 20,000 Americans helped build the hydrogen bomb unknowingly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it was so
Yeah, that's
compartmentalized, they were just making different components that were all assembled at the end by I guess a group that did know. But
yeah,
the majority
yeah.
had no idea that they. Now, of course, I don't believe in nuclear bombs either.
Right, right.
But as far as the compartmentalizing the idea behind it, that's what happened.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, Harvey, that's exactly where this all goes. The only good thing about this is that it proves that we are right and Jesus Christ is Lord.
Yep.
And that's what this is all about, We're not going down rabbit holes and like the troll earlier was saying, like, we need to get updated, like we're far behind. I'll tell you one thing, Tala is not far behind. I'm not far behind. We're recovering. We research and cover things, and sometimes we have to go back on things, and we have people that are joining us that haven't been completely around very long as far as in the awake community.
Yeah.
And we have to cover things lightly, sometimes go back to touch on the foundations of things. Yeah, a lot of people have covered parks and buildings and things like that, but
Yep.
it's part of one of the major truths. So every time you come across something that looks out of place, you're going to give it a little bit of research and then move on to the next thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of the next thing,
Segue.
this is a good time to what'd you say?
I said segue, like the way the news people do it. They like the one guy.
Oh yeah.
You pick it up. Like, speaking of diamonds,
Yeah.
it's time to buy a diamond for your wife. Too much salary.
Oh, that's hilarious. But yeah, I think it'll be a good time to talk about that bonus topic.
I don't even know what it is. It's so bonus.
It's so bonus.
Which bonus is it?
Are you guys ready for the bonus topic? Prepare yourself, as I am about to make you aware of the most interesting news.
Oh, I like the voice. It captured my attention.
You didn't think that was me for a second, huh?
Tractor pool Sunday.
Yeah.
Bring the family.
Economic depression coming worldwide. Florida and the whole East Coast will be flooded later this week, but today nerds get the spotlight. Right. Well said, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, well said. Anyway, that topic.
No, I know what it is.
So right here, right? Matthew 24:34. Most of us who believe that we are in the little season believe that, this is one of the evidences that we could use, the millennium past, Armageddon is past, and I 100% believe and agree on that. As it says here, verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. All right? So I'm not going to get into that too much. I know you guys know what that is talking about. However, I will be getting into Revelations chapter 22.
The last
and,
chapter.
Yes, the very last chapter of the Bible.
Final countdown.
The final countdown, my friends. if I can get there. All right. And as it says here, and he shewed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of God and of the Lamb. In the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, was there the tree of life. Now keep in mind, this is, to my understanding, it's talking about one tree, correct? I mean, some people believe that it's multiple trees on either side of the river, you know? But it seems like this tree is so big that it covers that whole area, you know, between the river and the left side and the right side of the river on either side. It seems like when I read this, to my understanding, it seems like it's a huge tree, and it's just one. And it says on this tree, bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month. And the nations' leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. And there shall be no more curse, but the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. And they shall see his face, and his name shall be in their foreheads. I wanted to point that out too. A lot of people like to really talk about the mark of the beast, right? People can spend so much time on that topic too. What is the mark of the beast? Well, what about God's mark, you know? It says right here, talks about the mark, and not just this passage. It says it in other passages too, when we're talking about the mark of God, you know. And there shall be no more curse, but the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him, and they shall see his face, and his name shall be in their foreheads. And there shall be no night there, and they need no candle, neither light of the sun, for the Lord giveth them light. And they shall reign forever and ever. And he said unto me, these sayings are faithful and true, and the Lord God of the holy prophets sent his angels to shew unto his servants the things which must shortly be done. Okay, let me highlight this real quick. Must shortly be done. Okay? Behold, I come quickly. Alright? Highlight that again. Blessed is he that keepeth the sayings of this prophecy of this book. And I, John, saw these things. So this is John. We know the book of Revelation has to do with John, Elder John. And when I had heard and seen, I fell down to worship before the feet of the angel, which showed me these things. Then saith he unto me, see thou do it not, for I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren the prophets, and of them which keep the sayings of this book. Worship God. And he saith unto me, seal not the sayings of this prophecy, for the time is at hand. Folks, in other words, the time is at hand. The time at hand literally means right here. The time is near. Right here. The time is near. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. And behold, I come again quickly. Alright? Quickly. And my reward is with me, and give every man according as his work shall be done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without are dogs, sorcerers, whoremongers, murderers, idolaters, whosoever maketh a lie, or loveth and maketh a lie. You know, so goes on to say, I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star, and the spirit of the bride say, come, and let him that heareth say, come, and let him that is athirst come. And whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. It is free. For as long as you, keep the commandments and repent. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book, if any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city. So if your name is not in the book of life, you will not be able to enter the holy city. In my opinion, that is paradise. That is and from the things which are written in this book, he which testifieth these things saith, surely I come again quickly. Okay? Amen. Even so, come, Lord Jesus. The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you all. Amen. Okay? Folks, what I just read, there's no way around it. If you're reading this plainly, and you're reading it, without any blockers or any barriers within your brain, how some of us like to do. If you just read it for what it is, this angel is talking to John, guys, and he's telling John he's going to come quickly. Keep in mind, John is not in the spiritual body. He's not in his spiritual body. He is in his flesh at this moment. So we can't say, well, yeah, he said he's coming quickly, but he's telling John, he'll be back. Like, to us, a year is a year, but to the Father, a year is like 1,000 years or something like that, or a day is 1,000 years. He's not confusing John. He's telling John straight up, I'm going to come back real quick, bro. All right? And I'm going to come with some rewards. So be ready. So what I'm trying to say, guys, and you can feel how you want to feel, all this has passed. All this has passed, guys. And if I'm wrong, let me know if I'm wrong. I would love to hear an explanation, as to what you guys feel the right interpretation is of this book. But as far as I can see, when I read this, it sounds plain to me. This isn't a parable, guys. This is straight up from an angel to Elder John.
Yeah, I mean, the urgency of the message, and it's saying quickly, and where it talks about, if these
Multiple
people,
times.
or if you can scroll down a little bit where it says, if they're right there in 11, it says, let anyone who is doing wrong continue to do wrong. Let anyone who's unclean continue to be unclean.
That's us.
So we're in the time of urgency, obviously, because the time is near. It's like there's no time for all this worrying about those that aren't with us, kind of thing. Right. I guess. We can present the message, but the time is short. The time is near. It's at hand.
Yeah. Yep. It's crystal clear, guys. Gog and Magog already passed, man. That already passed, folks. And according to my realization, John is dead. Alright? Saint John, Elder John, he's not here right now. At this time, when he was speaking to the angel, or the angel was confronted him, this was, at least 1,000, or a little over 1,000 years ago, guys. I could be wrong, though. Could be a lot more recent than that. But it's past, guys. And this is why, when you read Revelations 21, at the bottom, or is it 20? Right here, 20. When it says, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. Alright, so this has already happened, folks. This happened, alright? And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. This has happened. Now we move on to 21 and 22. 21 talking about the new heaven. And then 22, it seems like there's still people. There's still people sinning and stuff. Like I said, unless I'm reading this wrong, please correct me. Please correct me. I'm always open to correction. It seems like when I'm reading this as a child, as someone who is just opening my mind and reading this, it seems like this time has passed too. And we fit in right here in 11. We're outside of the gates. We are outside of the gate. And I feel like in order for us to get into Eden, in the kingdom of God, we have to do right. You know, we have to be right by him. So, like I said, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I got so far. Gog and Magog has passed. And honestly, if you look at those, it explains. You know, when he said fire came down from heaven and he devoured them, you know, all those mud flood buildings, you know, all those structures that look melted could have very well been a part of that event.
Right.
You know, if you look at Deir Kuyu, it's like they were trying to escape. If you look at Deir Kuyu, you got a whole bunch of underground homes, but it looks like they couldn't do much. It looks like the fire came down and devoured them regardless of what they were trying to do. So
Yep.
let's go to some comments. I'm interested in what they're gonna say. Alan says economic depression coming worldwide. Florida and the whole East Coast will be flooded later this week. Okay, read that. Now, if you ask me what's up, dog, one, I told him no, I'm not a dog. Right. But I tell you truly, there's a some standing here who shall not taste death till they see the kingdom of God. Right. This message is so very important for this generation. It truly is. It truly is, brother. And it is crystal clear. It is. He is a saint now, yes. Yep. He deserved it. He has an eternal body. This is why there's no photos. There's no photos, guys. There's no photos of the true North Pole. True North. There's no photos of it. They can't. Nobody can enter that area. All those other videos that you find, I've seen countless videos of so-called North Pole, you know. But I found out that all those are just the borderline of Greenland. It's a bunch of lies. All the footage that you're going to find is in Greenland. It's not the North Pole. You're not going to find any footage of the North Pole. Not one. I can't wait to be with him. Yes, same here. And when I read this, I started thinking, wow, okay, now this is making more sense. Because like I said, if you look in verses 11, verses 11 and verse 15, all right? If you guys can see that. Right there. So if you guys can see that, in verses 11 and verses 15, he's talking about the people who are outside of Eden. He's talking about the people who are outside of the kingdom of God. Who are those people? Duh, it's us. We're not there, so we have to be those people. And there are definitely sins that I've committed in the past. There are definitely sins that people are committing every freaking day. You know, it's just like it says here. He that is unjust, him be unjust, let him be unjust still. You know, like whoever decides to do what they want to do with their life, let them be the way they are. But there's consequences. There's got to be consequences. One thing I don't believe, though, for sure, is that this everlasting torment, everlasting burning of fire flames, that is crazy, guys. That is not biblical, man. Point to me where one scripture is that says that man will be thrown in the lake of fire and will burn forever. Try and point one out to me right now. Let me know if you found one yet. There's not.
No, it's just a built-up idea.
It is. It is. And it's hard for people
to make us think that our loving creator could have such a mindset to eternally torment somebody
Yes.
because they didn't want
Yes.
to accept his free gift.
Yep.
And who's, like, we said before, who's going to be running this eternal fire and tormenting these people? We've seen the pictures of these demons, supposedly paintings and stuff of them all just, having people roasting them over fires with pitchforks.
Right.
So then all the demons aren't killed? Is that what?
Yeah.
And they get exactly what they wanted all along, to torture God's creator?
Yeah. It's a lot of stuff don't make sense about
Or
that,
are they
man.
gonna switch jobs with some angels, and now they're in charge of?
Because it seems like
the way they describe it in the church, it's just like you're gonna be, so horribly tormented constantly day and night. It's like, they changed the meaning of things and terminologies, and then it just added their own stuff in, and then the church runs with it, and people just accept it as doctrine.
Right. And I like how you pointed that out earlier to me, that other day when you were like, who's going to be in charge of this, right? Because if you think about it, I don't know who I feel sorry for more when it comes to the one who's in charge. I don't know who to feel sorry for more. Like that's ridiculous, man. That's why it's ridiculous. People need to take that thought out of their mind, man. That is a thought from the devil himself. Can you imagine what Satan thinks? Yes, he believes that people will be tormented forever. Like, it's crazy, man. That's his number one thing is fear. But I like how Alan said this, Luke 12. Why don't you know how to interpret the present time? That is so true. He was telling them, what is so hard for you guys to interpret it? You can look at you can see the sun and the moon as it rises and all that, and you can tell when, there's going to be a storm nearby. You can tell all these things, but you can't interpret the present time. There's many people like that today, bro. There's many people like that. They just don't want to believe it. But we didn't have Judgment Day ever. That's a good question. But what if the judgment was for people that time? Because one thing is for sure that doesn't make any sense is when the angel specifically tells John, I will come quickly. I will be back very soon, and all these things will take place.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, where it talks about Judgment Day, that's in Revelations 20 or 21. This is the very last chapter of Revelations, folks. And it states in here several times, be back quickly. Read it for what it is. Read it for what it is, man. I'm done trying to create little narratives, and maybe this sounds cool, and I'll go on live stream and I'll talk about this. Nah, man, I just want the truth. And I'll tell you what, regardless if whether the truth be, we just die and we cease to exist after. If that's the truth, or if the truth was, we die and then we're reincarnated into an animal or whatever the freaking truth is, that's all I want. I don't care what it is.
My thinking on that is, the beginning of the Bible talks about Adam and Eve, and that they were put on this paradise earth, and they were to fill the earth and subdue it and have in subjection everything. Everything was for them or for their offspring. And had Satan not deceived Eve and all these things happened, where would they be right now? Would they have just eventually went to heaven? It said no, they were going to live on this paradise realm.
Right.
And to fill it. Now, we don't even know how big this realm is. We have maps with other continents on it that seem very likely that's what, at least partially what we have that we don't know about. So I just, I that in my mind is always there thinking, what is the, the answers to those questions. You know,
Yeah.
we had Satan not deceived Eve, where would they be right now? Would they be on this in this paradise realm?
Yeah.
Filled how many of their offspring? You know, that was the
Yeah.
plan.
Yep.
And the plan got changed and diverted, and that's when Jesus sacrificed and bought us ultimately from that enslavement and provided the ransom in place of the perfect man that Adam was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now that we have that, we have a second chance.
Right.
And so why was this realm created? If it was for us to live in a paradise, an incredible paradise, that's what we all look for here. We look for a beautiful spot that we like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We think we would love heaven, and I could be wrong, but at the same time, everything I think about and everything I desire is on a perfect realm, Earth.
Mm.
Everything I think about, but maybe it's just because maybe I'm being short-sighted, because they say, "Oh, you think you're happy here, you're gonna be so much happier in heaven." Well, that wasn't the original plan.
Mm-hmm.
Original plan was to make spend all this time creating this earth and everything of it, and all the different animals and trees, and that was our realm. So based upon that, I just, where do we go from here? Does the earth come back, and are we restored to a paradise slowly? And we find out about these other lands, and that's how we're able to just completely fill this realm, even though it may be unfillable. Maybe it's an infinite plane.
Mm.
Just like heaven is infinite, as below, so above.
Right.
All questions that we have, but when you look at the real truths of the Bible and the things that are in there, you can't. So many people sidestep, the fact that if Adam and Eve didn't sin and didn't choose not to follow God's pathway, they would have never got kicked out of the Garden of Eden.
Mm.
But we can see, even in their sin, God still blessed them in many ways. He told them, in the sweat of your face, you'll be working the land, of the leaves and the thorns or the weeds and the thorns. But what we do find out from all these weeds now is that they're all medicinal. Just about everything is some kind of incredible medicinal ability, and a lot of it's the stuff they tell you is poisonous.
Yeah. But yeah, so Alan left a comment saying, "Can you comment on Matthew 25:41? Says, then shall he say also on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels." Read that again. Read exactly what it says. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels.
Huh.
Says right here. Who's it prepared for? Says the devil and his angels. This everlasting fire. What is it saying, guys? It's talking about the fire. The fire is indeed everlasting. Nowhere in here does it say eternal torment. Nowhere in here does it say a person will be burned forever. The fire is everlasting, which I can see. But as far as people being burned forever, let's read this version. Then the king will say to the evil people on his left, get away from me. God has already decided that you will be punished. Go into the fire that burns forever, the fire that was prepared for the devil and his angels. You see? The fire burns forever. But as far as people burning forever,
Well, yeah, that was like what was that outside of the walls? The one area that kept they fed it with sulfur so it continued to burn. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
a Gehenna.
Gehenna. Yes.
You know, so it was always burning, but whatever was thrown in there was destroyed.
Mm.
You know, so just the fire is just representing the absolute consumption and destruction of something.
Yeah. All I want to know is the Lord's truth, not my own or any other man's. Amen. Same
Yep.
here.
Same here.
And that's the problem. A lot of people's emotions.
And I may be making mistakes along the way, but I know I'm in.
Yep.
I know you know, if you got a target and the target's this big, I know I'm right around this area, and I don't have to be dead center, because we can't be dead center anyways, because we can't know the time or the hour.
Yep.
We can know we're close, but we can't know the button. You know, we don't know. And we shouldn't know, and we shouldn't strive to narrow it down to that point so much or stress over that kind of stuff. When we know we're in the right area, that's all that's required. The searching and the honest heartedness.
Yeah.
Like what Harvey Fry just said, you know, he wants to know the Lord's truth, not his own or any other man's.
Yeah.
Exactly how
That's how I feel.
We have to discuss these things, and sometimes people may think, oh, they're way off or that's way off, and maybe it is, but I'm also willing to change my way of thinking when accurate facts are presented to me, you know, if necessary. I've done a lot of that so far. You know, all of us have, not just me. You know, all of us have adjusted our thinking, and it's not an easy thing to do. You know,
it's not.
It's there's ego involved for many people. You can't accept the fact that you've been duped, so you rather not. Just, you know, I don't want to know. Ignorance is bliss, kind of thing. But we have an obligation, you know, and we have the tools given to us to at least break through some of the lies and veils that give us a much more clear picture of our Father and the type of creator that he is and what he really has provided for us. And that, for many people, starts with realizing we don't live on the lie of a spinning ball. That we are special, and that we are, you know, and I'm not saying anything anybody hasn't said before, but it's a reminder that we definitely are something special here. We're not just this blip of life that accidentally formed amongst so many billions of other possibilities, you know.
Wicked people will get refined in the according to their wicked deeds. Yeah, I used to think that too. I used to believe that too, and I'm not too sure what exactly happens, and I'm not going to pretend that I do know. All right, the truth is, I really don't know. All I know is there is no eternal torment. There's none of that. That makes no sense. But as far as being refined, I'm not too sure about that, man. I'm more towards ceasing to exist. There are some who will. That's why they call it the second death. You know, because it's the death, and Jesus also states
the final of the existence. You don't have. You're not coming back from anything.
Yeah, you're not coming back. You'll be gone forever. You'll cease to exist.
Coming back to that too, it's really hard to think that such an amazing, loving creator would actually.
I'm still here. I just put my camera off real quick.
The thing that a loving creator would actually hold us accountable in the way that we would now pay for all eternity with torment for a handful of years of sin on this earth that we were born into, with the deception and the different things that we go through. I'm not condoning sin. I'm just saying that the scales don't, you know, it's unjust, you know, imperfect human, 70 years of sinning and eternal torture for that. You know, it just doesn't balance out. It's unjust. And that's one of the themes in the Bible, that the Creator is. He's just, he's true. He pays the fair wages for whatever it is that you're receiving, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't know all things. Yep. Yes, please do. The link is in the description.
Yeah, it also seems like since we've been in this short season time frame, that potentially it seems like Satan or whatever evil demons that are in our realm are unable to touch us physically, but they are able to deceive us if we're not, you know, as most people are, to the point of hurting ourselves and others too. So I think that's the kind of thing that we deal with now more than just the physical, where, you know, in the past we've seen films or things like that where they show evil ripping the guts out of somebody or something like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Able to actually, but like how Job, he was tested, but he didn't let him kill him, you know. He allowed so many things to happen. He, like I said, he didn't know what was going on. He was unaware, but his faith, even though he questioned the things around him, kept him in line.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I look at things right now. Like, there's these things that can happen, these calamities around us. But that's a good, always a good example in the Bible of what a lot of people are dealing with right now, their own personal Job scenarios. Everything crumbling around them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Change your mind. Be born again.
Yeah, definitely frequencies are a major part of what we deal with. Like Andy Noble said, they feed off of us. They definitely feed off us.
Yep. And can you imagine all our emotional thoughts, our, like, everything that we think, how, you know, I've heard some people say, you know, you're letting off a negative energy, you know,
Yeah.
or positive energy, whatever it is.
Or good vibes.
Yeah, good vibes, good vibes,
You know?
bad vibes. It's like,
It is vibrational frequencies. You know, you meet somebody and you don't, you know, so there's times in life you meet somebody and you just have this bad vibe, and it turns out you were wrong about that. But more times than not, your intuition there works, you know.
yeah, yep,
You hear a lot of times people say, oh, I should have went with my first intuition, you know.
yeah, that gut feeling.
Yeah, that's something that comes from an exterior place. It's a vibration, whether it's positive or negative, and we sense that. You know?
Yeah, yep. All people have dross that will be burned off. What we do know is that we can build up gold, silver, and precious stones that will survive fire. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting too, because even the Bible, excuse me, the Bible has I don't even know where it's at, but there's something about not mixing linen with other materials, not joining certain cloth materials together and stuff, and that must have something to do with vibrational energy.
Yeah.
We know that they've changed the original 432 megahertz of music, like symphonies and stuff like that, to 440, which is a skewed frequency. When you see the somatics at 432, you have a crystal clear geometric pattern that is also pleasing to the eye, as well as obviously to the ear. And 440 is basically, if you had somebody else's glasses on, that weren't your prescription, you can see it, but it's askew. So you think about that the way you tune in a radio station, just with the old crystal radios. With such a small amount of power, just a couple watts of power, they're able to bring in, tap into a vibrational frequency that's invisible.
Yeah.
It's going along these lines. And it's just incredible that it's ultimately coming through a stone, So then you think of all these cathedrals and the stones they have in them and all the things they're built with. It's just like, if you can just transform someone's voice that sounds exactly like them in real time from something so small with a fractional amount of electrical energy with a battery or something, how much, more so were these things producing, and what were they capable of? It was some amazing stuff.
Yep. Amen to that.
Yeah, frequency, I think, is they can make, have addictive frequency.
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely believe that. I'm sure that all these songs we have that are used at sport events, ones that are commonly used, they even have the applausometer, which is basically getting people to make a bunch of vibrational noise. And they have both sides of the spectrum. Like these sports arenas, I believe that they harvest energy from these places. You have tens of thousands of people, and you have these people with extreme happiness and extreme sadness.
Wow.
Both ends of the scale. And something about our energy is valuable to them. At the very least, the depletion of it from us is part of their goal.
Yeah. For what were this? Earth, our robes will be white linen.
Huh.
Energy harvesting like in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I haven't seen the new one yet. Have you seen the new one yet?
No, I don't hardly ever watch movies, but it would be something I would watch for educational purposes. But
Same here.
Yeah, I haven't really watched any movies. I did watch movies for a little bit there when I started. Like I did watch The Matrix and a couple other things like that. But I never saw The Matrix back in the day when it first came out. It wasn't until I started hearing all these truths about it, I went, that truth reveals of potentiality, potential truth reveals, what I'll say.
Yeah. Armored Raven said don't watch it, it's trash.
That's what I heard too.
I'm pretty sure.
Probably skewed with LGBTQ.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so.
It's like what they're doing with all the new Disney movies.
They hijacked it
literally, literally every Disney movie that has recently come out, all LGBTQ. It's sad.
Yeah, they're really just ramping it up. It's like what you were saying earlier. I wonder if, you know, the other end of this is that it's being ramped up and shown for what it is, because it's just so there and so accepted to, you know, of appearances, you know. Ultimately, I think it's a hive mind. Like, people individually, when they're home, they're not saying these kinds of things, but when they get with another group of people and they think, oh, this is how you are to be progressive, you know, we have to move forward and, you know, be progressive, and this is the way we do it. Our fear is what they want. Yeah. Ultimately, it just breaks us down in every way. It causes people to overdrink. People got to take pills, argue with their spouses, and they can't find any happiness. Searching in the wrong areas.
They have started the drag queen stuff here in the UK.
Oh, that's just one of the most despicable things I've seen too. It's just, I was watching one here in the United States when they first started up. My mouth was just like, what in the world? And what I was most upset about was just these parents that were sitting there, some of them holding like infants basically, and hopping them around and dancing and showing them the, hey, look it, and the clown coming up and getting on the kid's face, and you know, and then the kids that are old enough to know better, like 3.5, 4 years old, just sitting there looking with like pain in their eyes at first and looking back at their parents like, what are we doing here, you know? But at the same time, the parents all happy, like, come on, meet the drag queen, you know? And she's like,
this is how it is.
And they're just like, yeah, hi, you know?
It's so sad, man.
They use these public libraries for it because like you're allowed to have, you know, rent the place because it's set up, you know, under the guise of education, you know. They got these absolute freaks. These
Let me go to a playlist that I made.
What kind of perversion do you have to have going on in you to literally dress up? People dress up and go out to kids, and then you're going to read them a story.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of an intimate thing. It's not a sexual thing in and of itself, but you know, parents read their kids stories. Grandpa sits little grandson on the lap and reads him a story, you know? Who the heck is this reading a story to my kid?
It's so sad. There's a video I found. I made a playlist. Let me share this.
That's a big red flag. A big pink flag. Pink hair.
Alright, I'm gonna let this play real quick.
Now to a GMA exclusive, two transgender high school.
Same here, I'll be right back.
Runners, well, they're kicking up dust in Connecticut, taking the top spots at the state girls championship, leaving parents wondering if they have an unfair advantage. Lindsay Davis is here, and you sat down with the track star to talk all about this.
That's right, Michael. We're talking about a subject that's so sensitive that Andrea and Terry, who you're about to meet, felt when it was time to tell their parents that they're transgender, they each revealed it by text, and now they have gone public with it, and they're facing opposition from people who say even though you may feel like a girl, you need to compete against the boys.
Terry Miller and Andrea Yearwood dominating the competition at the Girls Track and Field Championships in Connecticut earlier this month, coming in first and second place respectively. And while it was a state race, their wins are making national headlines, not because of what they did, but because of who they are. Two transgender girls.
When was the first time that either of you found any kind of opposition to you participating on the girls' team?
I was expecting it, so every day I'll go home, search up Track and Field High School, Terry Miller.
Because you wanted to know what people were saying?
Yeah.
Some of those comments were harsh. Critics complaining that Andrea and Terry both have an unfair advantage since they were born boys.
At what point do you decide, Actually, it's more appropriate for me to be on the girls' team and competing with other girls.
I decided that the summer before 9th grade.
They've both started hormone therapy and say that for the most part they've been welcomed by friends, family, coaches, and administrators with open arms. But there is some backlash from parents and students. 2 petitions were even started in an attempt to change the current rule of the state's governing body of interscholastic sports. The rule states that students are entitled to participate on a team based on their gender identity, how they identify.
The girls athletes are at the physical disadvantage compared to the transgender female.
Bianca Stanescu started one of those petitions after her daughter Selena lost to Andrea and Terry at a track meet in May.
They
Lost.
have naturally testosterone within their body that has been proven to give a physical advantage in sports.
The mom, who was unaware that the girls were already undergoing hormone therapy, has gotten a little over 100 signatures. Medical science tells us that estrogen hormone therapy does change the body, replacing some lean muscle with fat. But of course, everyone is different. Andrea's parents say what's most important to them is the well-being of their child.
Track is number 100 on my list of concerns as a father of a transgender daughter. I'm talking about raising a child for a life. And so is it fair that that child is excluded? Is it fair that that child doesn't feel like they have a place to belong?
It allows her to be who she wants to be, and I think that
There's
has
a lot
a
of
little
things
bit
that
more
aren't
weight
fair.
than just winning a medal.
The rules vary from state to state. In 7 states, including Texas, students must play on the team that matches their birth certificate or have undergone surgery or have had extended hormone therapy, while the NCAA requires the completion of 1 year of testosterone suppression. Medical research cannot really identify the line where a competitive advantage might exist for trans athletes of either gender.
What do you want to say to other transgender youth, young people, teens who are out there really struggling through this process?
Just follow your heart. Like, don't let other people determine what
not
you
even
do in
trying
life.
to have a
Let's
goal
just
to
play
it.
devil's advocate for a moment and just imagine that you
Outside
were
of the
both
league.
born girls, and then all of a sudden you had 2 boys who identified as being girls, and they said, hey, we're going to be on your team, and maybe now you're not performing as well because they are better.
I'm not going to discourage you or try to say, oh, it's not fair. And it would just push me to run faster. I'd be happy for them because they get to do what they want. They're happy, so then that should in turn make me happy. And they're brave. They're just different from everybody.
They're brave.
And just to be clear, the mother who started.
Tell me that's not amazing, bro. That's
That's
amazing.
some, well, you know, and you consider like it's, you know, it's all about these 2 people that want to be physically different than what they are supposedly, yet the lives that it's going to affect. These, you know, I was watching one where it was one of these track things, and the girl that, you know, they have rankings, so they have to, if they don't come in certain places, they don't get to go to the next meets. And these women, they're in their sport, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, they're moving up the ranks, and you have these 2 people step in front that are just physically superior because they're men.
I'm sorry, that's just.
And those other people are just supposed to accept it, like, oh yeah, we have to make room for them. This is, you know, it's just really crazy. And
It's just so laughable, man. Especially when this guy
we're
right here.
swimming. That's what it was. It was swimming where, yeah, the guy was just almost a full lap ahead of these girls, you know, that prior to him showing up, you know, they were only shaving tenths of seconds off of these
Oh,
records
man.
every so often, you know, and now they just blow everything out of the water and create a
Oh,
whole new
my
front end
goodness.
lineup. And if you're not in third place, you're not in the mix for the next thing. Really,
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And then this guy, this father here, had the nerve.
Oh yeah, look at
He
that.
had the nerve to say what he just said right here. That's,
Of their child.
Track is number 100 on my list of concerns as a father of a transgender daughter. I'm talking about raising a child for a life. And so is it fair that that child is excluded?
talking about fair.
My guy said, "Is it fair?
Yeah.
Is it fair to have his son
If you are talking about fair, you're
excluded?"
talking. Well, then you're talking about being extremely selfish because
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I can't believe this dude, man. This dude is
I
sick, man.
mean,
He
it's
needs
not
to
fair that I'm
readjusting.
5'6" and I always wanted to play in the NBA and never had a chance.
Exactly.
That's
Same
not
here.
fair. But you know, I can't do nothing for them there. You know, there's another guy that's going to
Can't
get
believe this
picked
guy,
way
man.
before me.
He had the nerve to talk about fairness.
And so is it fair that that child is excluded? Is it fair that that child doesn't feel like they have a place to belong?
It allows her.
Is it fair that that child not have a place to belong?
I
Bro, are
just,
you
I have a hard,
serious?
yeah, I have a hard time believing any of these people are even real.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just an agenda. They're paid to do it,
Yeah.
you
Yep.
know, and
Get in front of the camera.
you know,
Yep.
and then this is the deception that promotes other people to actually, you know, like, oh, hey, yeah, you know, and
Yeah.
look at all these benefits to dressing my kid up as a opposite sex of what they are, you know,
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
and it's just all the Baphomet, you know. Too.
Ma'am, once again, ma'am. I said both of you. No, you said sir. Once again, it's ma'am.
Well, this video from right here in New Mexico is going viral online. A transgender woman losing her cool when she says an employee at an Albuquerque video game store called her sir instead of ma'am. The video has been viewed more than 1 million times on YouTube over the last 2 weeks, and it's getting people talking. Lots of people have made fun of the woman for her outburst. Others say she did the right thing by defending her gender identity. Now, only on 4, she's telling her side of the story to Kai Porter.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
It's the video seen by millions. Tiffany Moore, a transgender woman who recently started her transition, yelling at an employee inside this Albuquerque GameStop. Moore says the cashier repeatedly called her sir instead of the gender pronoun she identifies with, while she was trying to return a game she bought for her son.
Ma'am, once again, ma'am. I said both of you. No, you said sir. Once again, it's ma'am. I actually said both of you guys. It was general. Right beforehand, you f***ing said sir. Sir? Okay. Take it outside. If you want to call me sir again, I will show you a f***ing sir. I apologize now.
Oh man, that's so funny, dude. He said, "I'll show you outside." You want to see a sir? I'll show you a sir.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I
That
have,
is
I have
hilarious.
a theory. It doesn't always pan out about a lot of these names that they give these people that I think are a lot of times just actors.
Yeah.
They always have like 2 letters together in their first name and 2 letters in their last name. Like, what was his name? Tiffany Moore. Probably 2 F's and 2 O's.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of coding that
Oh,
is, but I see it
man.
a lot in a lot of things when there's just suspect news reports that I'm like, that just totally looks like some kind of crisis actor. And then the name is usually like Ellen with 2 L's and, you know, Pearson, Peerson, or these weird names that you never ever heard before in your life. Like Brendan Diggut. Diggut. So you can get 2 G's together. There was a guy named Diggut.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
goodness.
where does these names come from?
This is hilarious. And Alan says, "When are trans girls going to fight to compete against real boys?" Oh my goodness. Oh, that would be the day, right? That would be the day. In fact, I think I had something that I think I saved a video. Yeah, right here.
Alana
This dude, man. This guy right here. This guy right here is a trans, and he straight up beat the crap out of this girl, man. Did you see this?
No.
Yeah, bro.
What was this?
So yeah, Alan, to answer your question, that's already happening, brother. It is already happening. This is a straight up dude, bro. Oh man.
Clocklin, the second openly transgender woman to compete in MMA in the United States, won his debut fight against a real woman on Friday night
See, that's the woman he fought.
via submission. The 38-year-old man used a rear naked chokehold against
The 32-year-old man.
Oh my God.
Celine Provost to end the match 3 minutes, 32 seconds into the
32 seconds, bro. 32 seconds. This is just crazy. Oh my goodness. So there's your answer, Alan. It already happened, bro. Someone should sit the race out, then identify it as first place. These so-called girls, if in hundreds of years somebody finds their bones, they will find 2 men's bones. Yeah, for sure. It was a dude, man. 2 genders, nope. Satan teaches winning is everything, even though he already lost. Yeah. Absolutely heartbreaking what has been done to these children. I wouldn't want to be their parents. Yeah. We can only pray for them. So sad they will never feel the joy of being the person they truly are. Yes, very well said. Amen, Andy. It's all staged. Yeah, just like Loyal said. Yep.
We're still, yeah, identify as 7'2". Then I can join the basketball, the NBA, right?
Yep. I'm pretty sure they'll believe it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You don't see it, but I am 7'2".
Yeah.
There's a little bit of imagination.
What's wrong with you? How's the weather down there?
Discriminating. Yeah. So many people not knowing who they are. Exactly. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, that's funny.
That's hilarious. Oh man, Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm gonna start using that, man.
GameStop too.
Yeah.
Van Damme or Van Man? Well, no, it would be Van
Oh man, Tiffany Moore. Yeah, it's crazy. Tons of crisis actors. What did I say? That's the only way it works. My old nan used to say they don't know if they're Arthur or Martha. Oh my goodness. Tiffany Moore. A lot of people I've seen here in the UK who are trans have cut marks down their arms. Wow. That's pretty sad. That is pretty sad. Yep, so this has already happened, folks. A man beating up on a female. I guess that's legal now. If you ever want to beat up a woman, feel free to say that you're a transgender. And you can do that.
Well, they sold the woman the lie that they're stronger than man, or they don't need men, and that they can do whatever they need to do on their own, you know. But
it's crazy, man.
It's all a lie, and that now there's a whole movement on recognizing this kind of stuff. You know, I mean, like even with the makeup that girls wear, you know. The amount of makeup that's put on and the deception with that, you know, not to mention all the chemicals that are involved with all this stuff. But, you know, you get to the point where I've seen some videos on YouTube where they do these makeovers purposely to show you how they can turn themselves, what someone might consider a 3 into a 9, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, then these same people are expecting, you know, the men to treat them as what they've dressed up like. I don't know if that makes sense, but
No, it does.
3's expecting you to treat like 10s, but I don't fall for that number anyways, you know. But as far as the rest of everything else goes, you know, you got people out there deceiving people into thinking they're somebody they're not.
Right.
You hear people say it too, like, "Oh, my boyfriend has never seen me without my makeup," or "will never see me," or even my husband's never seen without my makeup completely. You know, because there's such a contrast of the real person and the person that they're trying to maintain the illusion of.
But
And the
yeah,
whole transgender thing can be some of the simple things of just even instigating all that. Of course, is to go against God and His plan, but you know, the makeup and hair care and all those, they get a lot of more new customers. You got guys wearing makeup and wearing girls' clothes and lingerie. They're cleaning up. Of course, they're going to market it to you. That's what it's all about.
Check this out. Check this video out.
Story time with a drag queen. Hey folks, it's Pastor Dave Grisham with Last Frontier Evangelism, and today we're at the Lusac Public Library.
The books they allow us to read.
Story time with a drag queen. So we are going to go inside and tell the kids the truth. There's no such thing as transgenders, and that God makes boys boys and girls girls, and there is no changing. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go in now.
My guy is brave. My guy is brave.
Joey Buttafuoco. That whole thing was a psyop too. It's like the Lorena Bobbitt. Cut her husband's penis off, and then he went and did porn videos with his robo penis that was reattached.
Watch how sick this is. So creepy too.
Oh, is this the one where they break it down, where they shut it down?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, this is a good one.
Hey kids, my name is Pastor David, and I wanted to tell you today that there is no such thing as transgenders. Transgenders do not exist. They do not exist. God made men men, and women. God made men and women. And there's no such thing as transgenders.
Do not have a ticket.
Transgenders do not exist.
As soon as my guy said,
it's another one.
As soon as he said, "I am pastor," no.
They were expecting. Look at they're expecting it.
As soon as he said pastor.
What was that big fat guy, like just an out of costume drag queen?
I don't even know, but it's creepy the way that they're
on him. My goodness, man.
That's a dude, man.
When I see this stuff, I imagine that guy the night before, knowing he's coming here in the morning. He's getting all this stuff ready. What's just going through your mind in the mirror while you're putting all that crap on?
Right, man. What is going through your mind?
You know, it's nothing good.
That's a good question. Like, what the heck goes through their mind?
That's what I think of. I just think, you know, aside from them being out here, like the whole part leading up to this, how does that?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like,
there's no way that person's there. Like, I'm gonna be really educating these kids on a happy way of life. You know, like what said. All these people, transgender, they come across got.
And look at the way
marks up and down their arm.
Mm-hmm. The way he looks too at the camera.
Sprinkle, 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 and click, click, click. He makes what he wants.
Hey kids, my name is Pastor David.
So that's a girl. So that's a real girl. You seen that? The one who's reading, that's a girl. Right there. With the fake beard. That's a girl. and the one on the right side is a guy.
Click, click, he makes when he walks.
Hey kids, my name is Pastor David, and I wanted to tell you today that there is no such thing as transgenders.
Look at this smile on this woman's face. And I'm talking about the woman with the beard. That's a woman. He's just smiling at the camera like, oh, looky what we have here. Looky what we have here, Mr. Pastor Jimbo.
Out. Transgenders do not exist.
Out now.
They do not exist. God made men and women. God made men and women. And there's no such thing as transgenders.
You do not have a ticket.
Transgenders do not exist.
Yeah, I was trying to vocally drown out anything he has to say. They already know that.
I have a right to
You are being
speak.
disruptive.
This is a public area. I have a right to speak. Get your hands.
Ticket event.
Yeah, that's just crazy, man. That is just ridiculous.
What makes a grown man that is not a transgender want to go over there, or drag queen want to go over there and watch that?
Right.
Are all those people paid? I can't imagine that whole library in one area gathers that many legitimate people that are bringing their little kids to this crap. Seems like part of those people are at least a deception.
It's crazy.
I'm a fourth grade teacher, and I do a lot of work with social justice and equity in my classroom. We have racialized conversations all the time. I, Hannah Fandensteel, am a racist. I am a product of the white dominant structure I was raised in. My people have done an excellent job lifting each other up. Unfortunately, that was on the backs of people of color. Because this is deeply embedded in my history, it is no wonder I was passed down views that are racially problematic. Even though white supremacy can be unconscious, it is constant. Living in this society would have been a miracle for me to be anything but racist. Now that I know I have deeply rooted racist tendencies, I can constantly be looking and listening for how they surface in my life. And when a person of color gives me feedback for not being a good ally, I can say thank you and not get defensive. Something here I said could have been problematic because I'm always learning.
Okay, guys, I can't. This is too funny. So I'm at work, and those of you who don't know me, I use they, them pronouns, and I'm a preschool teacher. So instead of using Mr. or Miss, we use mix. So the kids have been really awesome doing that. I work with 3 and 4-year-olds. One of my kiddos came up to me and he goes, "Are you mixed up? Are you mixed up?"
Kids can tell.
I was like, "No, sweetie, I'm not mixed up. I just use mix instead of Mr. or Mrs." And he's like, "Okay."
That is so sad, man. That's so sad. Think about that child who was genuinely asking this woman, you know, are you mixed up? The child was genuinely asking her, you know, and then she had the nerve to respond this way.
I was worried.
Yeah, the kids can see through it. Yeah.
Oh, my name's Josh. Use they, them pronouns in English, A in Espanol, and I got a lot of questions like this. So how do I bring this up to my teacher? How do you talk to colleagues about it? How do people respond to you? So where I work, everybody was really receptive. They wanted to learn more about it. It's been a slow process, but they're learning more and they're integrating it. And this is across languages, so I feel super lucky. However, I know that's not the case for a lot of people. All I can say is that try to talk to your teacher about it and explain to them that this is what non-binary people are doing in the language, and that by not including language like this in the classroom, it's making people who are non-binary, or maybe are non-binary and they don't know, feel unsafe, and that it's actually transphobic, and that they're excluding people's identity in the classroom and making them not feel safe when using that language. So that's all I can say. It's really difficult if people are resistant to it, but we got to keep fighting.
See, there's a guy who would have never bought eyeshadow before and hair clips.
Exactly.
Made some good sales on him.
Yeah, this dude.
Some lip tint.
Yep, he's buying all that stuff. Oh, the makeup
You
company.
still gotta buy a razor.
You still gotta buy a razor.
Those are expensive, man.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Yeah, he still has to buy a razor.
Man pawns.
He needs to get some clippers too. Oh man, that's hilarious. Sephora, that makeup company, Sephora.
Yeah.
Oh, you can imagine how much money they're making now. You can imagine.
Yeah, and all that
People are
stuff's got
resistant.
parabens in it and dyes.
Yeah, yeah.
Even the good stuff has fetal cells in it,
Mm-hmm.
To it, but we gotta keep fighting.
So I have a quick announcement for everybody. Can everybody look up from their phones? My class is important, please. Hello, I'm waiting. You guys look at me. Me. So I usually go by Mr. Johnson, but I would like to be called Zoa now. My name is Zoa, and I'm non-binary.
Microaggressions within children's like.
Oh my gosh, man.
I would still be calling myself Mr. Johnson.
Oh, this is crazy, man. You can just wake up one morning and say, you know what, today I have decided today my name is no longer Tala and I am no longer a man. I am actually a turtle. So
Oh, I like turtles.
I
That's
go by
good.
Tortoise. So my new name is
Yeah,
Tortoise.
my pronouns are.
I am a turtle. I'm serious. You guys think I'm
Okay.
playing, huh? I'm serious.
I'm just kidding. So we're making progress.
Oh man. But that's how it is, right? You can just wake up one day and go to work one day and say, hey, you know what? I'm no longer a cat. I don't like cats anymore. Today I'm a dog.
Just
Oh
go from one
man.
side to the other.
Yeah. Oh man. I think we've had enough of that. I don't know how we got into homosexuality, but you know what? Maybe the Father wants us to address it.
It's everywhere. Yeah.
He wants us to address it, I guess, because we definitely didn't plan that, but it happened. So, yeah. Whew. A lot of comments I missed. Armored says ill. Yeah. Yes, for sure. Just wrong indeed. If people don't see it by now, God said he's going to send them a strong delusion so that they will be in a lie. This is all staged too. Yeah, I could see it that way. I could definitely see it that way. The Bible says evil will be considered good. Definitely. I think Tom Cruise is a woman.
Probably.
I think Tom Cruise is a woman. That's hilarious. You know what? Some people even think The Rock is. Even what's his name? Obama's wife, Michelle Obama. I heard that she's a dude. But she does look like a dude, though. Just look at them shoulders. Look at them shoulders.
What's interesting about that is that she has a brother who is a transgender to female.
Right.
And I mean, I've seen some crazy videos of her. Anything can be photoshopped now and stuff. It seems like, but
right.
Yeah, and it's not anything new under the sun. This has been done for millennials, and I truly believe like a lot of the royalty and stuff like that are actually female to male or male to female.
Yep. Definitely.
Nothing new under the sun. And the Japanese theater and all the early times of theater were all the men played all the women's roles. Women were not allowed in the theater.
Yep.
And the world is a stage, right? The world is a theater. So there you are. We see these actors. They're never off the clock now. You know, in the past, yeah, you had actors that acted in movies. Now they do these side actors where, like, Johnny Depp and his wife's court case is all filmed or, you know, live video footage of it on TV. And meanwhile, you know, the Epstein trial was not televised.
All that stuff is baloney.
Yeah, most Hollywood is trans. I believe that. And I definitely think like people like Sandra Bullock and
wait, what?
Sandra Bullock? Oh yeah, that's one of the, I think, the more obvious ones. But even like Serena and Venus Williams.
Sandra Bullock is a dude?
Do your own research, brother. But let me know what you think.
I had to slap myself.
I know. But yeah, a lot of, you know, saw a video of a lady that they say is
bro, you can share your screen too.
What's that?
You can share your screen if you want to share anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't really have anything.
Oh, okay. Just letting you know.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I haven't really navigated through this other than just being on it with you, but next time we chat, I'll have some stuff to share. Oh, actually, there was a couple things I did pull it. You know what? Let me see if I can pull that up.
Yeah, Pink. Look at Pink. Oh, dude, that looks like a lady. Mandra Bullock. Mandra Bullock. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. You know, like I said, it's basically a hangout.
I was doing some research on, you know, I've never been a sports fan. My dad was never into sports, thank goodness, so I never got into it. But my sons both love basketball. But they also play it constantly, so it's not an empty thing for them, you know. Because usually they say the bigger the fan, the bigger the fan. Like, the more they watch the sport, the more they sit down and consume.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, so they get fatter. Fanatics. So yeah, the trying to download something or upload something, but I'll just talk about it. Like, I was watching a video where they were showing these magnetic receiver gloves for the NFL that they've been using, and it's how these guys are doing these one-handed crazy catches and stuff. You know, showing these professional receivers going out and trying to catch one-handed without the gloves and catching one-handed with them, and it was just like night and day, you know. And they exist. And there's another thing that exists, and it's represented as a toy. It's called Sphero, and it's a golf ball that has a remote control. It's actually so advanced you can use your smartphone now, and it has a little thing on it. And you can start it from a dead stop. You can make it circle around the hole. You can make it go backwards. You can do anything you want, you know. And it's available right now. I think it's like $150. Think about the money that's made in sports, you know? Mostly betting. Had that in his hand, he wasn't even holding on to it. And these guys jump up out of the middle of 3 or 4 guys that are trying to
wow,
far left there, and they acknowledge that they use it, but they also showed how, you know, during some of these critical games when these kickers hit the uprights instead of hitting it through the thing, you know, there was somewhere the trajectory was going straight, and all of a sudden the ball about halfway through gets a wobble in it and hits the goalposts, and the other team wins. If you have that kind of ability.
Overall, back in 09, Curry with a nice play. They blitzed the safety on that play as well. No place for Bradford. Checks it down. What a catch. He can still lunge forward. I don't know that Ammon.
No way. No way. One-hander, bro.
Yeah.
Let's see where they mark it.
Watch Danny Amendola. What a terrific catch. He works against Lofa Tatupa, stays alive, and look at the concentration.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been a great catch, but
in that football
they also
in.
had
That'll make some highlight films.
Absolutely. That's as good as it gets.
That's amazing.
Dude, that looks like it rolled off his hand a little. Did you
Yeah,
see
there's some
that?
other footage that this ones I had where it's just like you can almost see where it just clinks right to his hand, like makes that.
Amendola.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you see a lot of these players give up when they totally could tackle the guy or they trip somehow, and yeah, that can happen in a regular game, but this stuff is just, it's all scripted sports.
Man, I wonder how they. My question is, I wonder how they present it to the actual players. Like do they just sit down with them one day and just like, so today it's gonna be a scripted game, all right? It's gonna be a fixed game. I think for as long as the money is in the picture, they don't care, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. They get the fame, they get the glory. They're they're made heroes, of something that, I just don't comprehend. The people, I always got turned off of sports because my friends that were all into them, it would, they'd be like, "Hey, you want a barbecue after the game?" And I'm just like, "Well, no, probably not, because your team's going to lose and you're going to be in a bad mood." So,
yeah.
Totally the rest of their weekend or the rest of their week or the rest of this off season because their team didn't do well, it's just like,
yeah,
it always made like little sense to me for what you got back.
Sports is all rigged.
Tickets are insanely high. Try to take your family to a game and you go broke.
Exactly. You're trying to figure out how to pay the electric bill for that month because you sacrificed it for a game.
Yeah, and it makes the average man that's providing for his family here, he can't even afford to go watch these guys play that make millions of dollars and have lavish lifestyles usually, which is also
caught that with literally the tip of his.
Yeah, I mean,
wow. Look at that. Is crazy, man. Oh my goodness.
Those things are coming like rockets too,
Yeah.
I mean, those things are coming fast.
Wow, the tip of his fingers, bro. Wow. Yep. Indeed it is, Chad. Pink is without a doubt a dude. He's still on that homosexual stuff. Yeah, I can see that. She's pretty buff. And you get all the politics and all the politics get into it and everything. Even Trump, all these people and the politicians, they love to talk about the sports. Like Obama's one of them. Obama's seriously, he's one of the dudes that love sports. Mafia and gambling, control, sports, like everything else involving money. Yep. Definitely.
Yeah. They all got numbers on for a reason.
You know what it is? It's whatever controls us, whatever, it controls the masses, they're gonna put their noses into it. They for sure will.
Yep.
Armored Raven, the algorithm flags your every comment. Flags whose comment? Gay means happy, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back. It was stolen.
That word was stolen. Algorithm is blocking these comments. Wow.
Your side, it usually only takes
What do you think about the ultimate reception? It's amazing. You can't even drop it with the clothes. Make a lot of cases you weren't allowed to make without the clothes. Pretty awesome.
I'm sure that's not NFL quality either. They probably got a way much more powerful one.
Yeah. So there's literally metal or like something magnetic within the
I think the gloves have the ball has the electrical magnetic device that can be turned on, and then
right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's the receiver on it.
No way, bro.
So if you so that golf ball, it has a gyroscope in it, which makes it move in different directions. So if you just put a gyroscope in that as well, and you were able to flip the switch to cause it to lose its direction, wherever else it goes is success, as long as it didn't go where it was supposed to.
Wow.
But yeah, I was watching some golf with Tiger Woods. I don't watch golf, but I was watching it just to see what's going on. And yeah, he can hit that ball out there, but you see where it lands and it just makes the perfect amount of turn, long curve all the way back down, and then slows down and hits the other transition and banks in and then drops right in the hole. Like it's just maybe.
Wow.
Maybe he's that good. But he's got a lot of hole-in-ones.
That is amazing, bro. This world is alive.
Reminds me of kind of like NASA, though.
Yeah. Everything about the government is a stage. Man. The only thing I can say that are, like, what about those murders? Like real life murders. I know there are those, like Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer, Charles Manson. I don't know too much about Charles Manson, I think his stuff could be rigged.
He worked for the CIA. I don't believe the Manson thing was real at all.
There was no
victims
trace.
Were Hollywood actresses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You have a short, weird dude with this insanely massive devoted followers that are willing to do anything for him, trying to represent him kind of like a Christ-like individual, or like he's just got these disciples, and they even called themselves his disciples.
Wow.
And he's a failed musician prior to that. And he wanted to be a musician. He can play the guitar and he can kind of sing. So that's probably what got him into it. They probably said, well, no, we can't use you in the music industry, but how about we make you a guru, insane guru, and give you a bunch of people to follow you around, and we've got this plan.
Right.
Yeah, nothing about that makes any sense. And a lot of these things, I think, and I'm once again, I could be wrong, but I think most of these like serial killers and things like that have all been faked.
Right.
It's another way to get everybody in tons of fear.
Yeah, because the Gary Ridgway one, they said that I guess he turned himself in, but they said the forensics and the CSI, they have claimed that he 40 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when he got arrested, when Gary Ridgway turned himself in, he admitted to killing over 100 people. All right, so
Yeah.
it could be fake. That could be fake too.
Yeah, I mean, where are these 100 people? And it's like, I know that we have.
Yeah, where are the families? Where are the families complaining?
Right, and I know that we have people abducting children, and there is a thing going on with children, but I think to the degree that they state it, I don't think it is either. Because, I mean, I'm almost 54 years old, and I'm sure it does happen and stuff like that, but I don't know anybody that's ever had their child abducted by a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
I do know of a story of something that happened in Tijuana, Mexico, to a friend of a friend, where their daughter was supposedly stolen out of the stroller while they were shopping in Tijuana, and supposedly killed the child, stuffed it full of heroin, and tried to bring it back across the border. And then the border police, as they were crossing the border, wanted to see, wake up that kid in the back, and then that's when they discovered supposedly that it was that. But I'm just like, there's a lot of easier ways of shipping heroin across the border.
Yeah.
Abducting a little kid, and then the same day later on, I mean, it was the same day, just hours later, that they found the kid while the parents are still in Tijuana looking for their daughter. They captured the guys trying to go across the border with this dead girl that's full of heroin bags. Maybe.
Hey, Alan would love for you to join us and discuss this, what you just said when you said Manson was a crazy setup. You did a long video on this whole psyop.
Oh, did he? Yeah, well, he would know.
There's a link, bro, if you wanna join, Alan, so you can let the people know about that.
Oh, he said it's too late for this old guy.
Huh?
Maybe he'll come on, but I see after that he said, "Night, tell it's too late."
Oh.
So.
Wow, I'm not even getting the messages.
It's a little further down.
Oh, okay, I see. No, you're good.
Elon Musk's mom, yeah, she's definitely one of those highly involved handlers. That whole family's a lie.
Who?
Elon Musk and his mom.
Oh.
That's another guy. All those guys like Elon Musk, they didn't invent nothing. They didn't.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
They're just the front men for the whatever agendas and the money.
Yep. They're just the face.
Elon Musk can't even form an entire sentence without losing his train of thought halfway along the way. How is he not only developing this technology so quickly that he supposedly developed? How is he implementing it? He's obviously not hands-on because he's always doing interviews and always on Twitter making tweets and stuff. I mean,
right.
So where, we all only have so many hours a day individually. So, then he's taught these other people how to do what his vision is. But
yeah.
I don't understand how he's even able to do that, because once he tries to explain anything to anybody in his interviews, he's all tongue-tied, and he keeps, his sentences are erratic and choppy, and he gets diverted onto other things. It's not like, if you knew something and understood it so well, you should be able to enunciate it. And if you can't enunciate it correctly, then how are you teaching anybody else these insane secrets that you have in your head that you're just coming up with?
Exactly. Great point. That's one thing I used to think about too. Is like, what the heck? Why is it that only they? Why is it that only he can, discover these things and think of these things? That's ridiculous, man. It's like, what is he like some type of special Power Ranger?
Yeah. And same with Jeff Bezos and all these other guys, even Sam Walton. Sam Walton was from Walmart, that was marketed to us as like, this small town mom and pop store, just really did a good job and became, nationally massive.
Mm-hmm.
But, what that thing did is it stomped out mom and pop stores. It did exactly what it was supposed to do, but it had no mercy for anything in small towns. It set up and it crushed. And then it pulled out of a lot of towns too afterwards, leaving it desolate. But Sam Walton, he was, from what I understand, the guy in charge of the internment camps, the Japanese internment camps. And it was after that he started Walmart.
Wow.
So if anybody has ever heard any of that stuff or has any more information,
yeah, I would love to hear more about that.
Jeff Bezos with Amazon, he started his company as a online bookstore, and was paying media mail rates, which is like the lowest mail rate you can pay at the Postal Service, and was getting millions and millions of dollars a year annually in postal rates reduction, and so when he switched over to doing what Amazon is known for now, the least thing they're known for now is books, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're still known for books, but now it's just merchandise, and it's all subsidized. The whole company's subsidized by the government. That's how they can do the super low prices, because they get paid back on the back end.
Doesn't matter. Right? 10 o'clock. Can you put your initials in the middle?
He's going to use this later to sign blank checks.
Now, let me show you what I do with this. You see the card. Oh, thank you. You see how it really looks, Jeff? Like it goes, see how it looks like it goes inside? Yeah. Like in the middle? Yeah. No, it's not illusion. It's always right here. Let me do it again. Look. So you see it, and it really looks, you believe that you see it going inside, but it's always going to be right there.
Yeah, that's pretty much impossible.
Can I get that in slow-mo? Wait a minute. The second law of thermodynamics has just been violated.
So but you actually see it go inside?
Yeah, I do.
But it never moves. It's always right. You know what I'll do? Hold on. Let me bend it. Let me put a bend. You see, you can't miss that. It's a print. See that obvious bend in the card?
There it is. There
These go above. If I just hit, see how it pops up and through the deck? Like. But Jeff, let me say.
We need a high-speed camera.
Yeah. Jeff,
I want the
take one out. Whatever you want. Of all the cards you could have had,
wait a minute.
Do you mind?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
This is your glass?
Yeah. This is your glass.
What? Oh, Jesus, what are you doing?
I'm going to get some safety goggles next time. How is it?
You make sure that's actually real glass.
Be careful.
Don't hurt your hands.
You just cut your hand there. That'll be fine.
That's real glass.
Yes.
Oh, back to what we're doing though. Could you shuffle? I'll take the napkin. See you.
I would get tired of laughing like that.
Yeah, the way he laughs is very arrogant. It's like a laugh of a rich man, a cocky rich man.
He looks like he's nervous, like someone's gonna find out the jig is up soon.
Yeah.
Come on, another super laugh. This guy just can't stop.
Yeah. We gotta hear that one.
He's getting
Eliminate
demoed.
this carefully. I don't want anybody to get hurt.
I don't think I've laughed like that genuinely.
Wow.
In a
And
while.
did you realize what he laughed at? Why?
Yeah, and he's laughing at nothing.
Right when he said, "I hope put this away so nobody gets hurt," and then he starts laughing.
Oh, that's good. It doesn't matter. So take a poker hand from the deck. Okay, perfect. Can I do these? Can you open up the calculator app on your phone? There's a calculator.
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah, perfect. Great. Perfect. Yep. Good. And can you take this first?
Yeah.
Can you type a 3-digit number for me? I'll
Any
take these.
three-digit
Any
number?
3-digit number. Do times. Can you take it? Can you? And I know you're a mathematician,
Yes,
so
yes.
do like a 3-digit number.
Okay.
Do plus.
He just had to add that,
He
right?
knows how to type a calculator because he's a mathematician.
Yeah, I know you're a mathematician, right? And he's using a calculator, right?
Can you do this? Do a number.
Yes.
Give it to her. Push equals. Equal.
Yeah, Nancy
Equal.
Pelosi's younger sister.
So we did a bunch of I don't know.
Huh?
That lady looked like Nancy Pelosi's younger sister.
Wait, but that's 6 digits.
Yeah, 6. We need 5 digits.
We
You want me
needed
to
5.
divide by something?
Well,
How
what
about
is it?
if we
4?
It's 492. So if you divide by 8, for example.
Oh wait, you know what? No, but forget the 0. Maybe the 8.
Jeez, this is a lot of hooey for whatever. He's gonna figure out what the number was.
And look at Mr. Colorful Bowtie in the background. His smile.
Yeah, he's probably the most important guy in the room.
Just might be.
Can I see the first card? What's the first one?
Here we go.
Oh, good. Yeah. So
And they look kind of creepy. Just look at them. The woman in the back.
Just
the
the
guy
way
behind.
that's probably a dude. Yeah, look at the Cro-Magnon on that thing.
Yeah. They look very creepy, man. I know for sure they're part of the elites. And so is this guy, this puppet right here, David Blaine.
Yeah.
it's a 4. Can you hold that, Jeff? Just good. So can you hold the next one?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
good.
don't
It's a
even
9.
do that.
Great.
That
Let
guy's
me
good
see. Yeah,
enough
good.
to
And what?
You do some real magic. His stuff's all just.
Yeah, it's all camera tricks.
People got to be in on it too. You know, they act like they're like, oh, this is. Oh, there he goes, laughing uncontrollably again.
Yeah.
They say you get laughing disease from cannibalism. Maybe that's part of it.
The 2.
Are you serious?
Yeah. That's supposed to be one of the side effects is like uncontrolled laughter, and you eventually, I guess, die from it. You laugh to death.
That's creepy, bro.
Hold on. Let me see. Let me see this
Next,
one.
5.
And then probably
And
I'm
the next
off
one
by.
is
Oh yeah. No,
a chance.
it was 1.
A chance.
Take anyone.
Wow. That was disturbing. That was pretty disturbing.
Can you imagine getting ready to go to dinner to something like that?
I know, man. Imagine one day you want to go have a nice dinner with the wife, and then you run into one of these guys laughing across from you.
The whole fakeness of it, of the whole thing, you know.
Chad says they really suck at acting.
Yep.
Yeah.
All big deception, and then this is a deception that people are willing to be taking part in and enjoying. Like, look I'm going to deceive you guys.
Yep. It's creepy. But yeah, we've been live for going on.
Put up his Manson video.
Oh,
be interesting to check out. I'm sure that's got a lot of good detail in it.
Let's go there. Thank you for that, Alan. Let me go to it really quick. This is Brother Allen.
Was Armageddon. Please don't let them tell you anything else unless they're willing to debate you in a fair and honest way.
Don't cast your pearl before swine.
When I talk to people about what it says in the Holy Writ, we can both forget that for a time we can forget we are physically dying. When I'm telling you God Most High is one spirit, it is as if time stands still, the will of God be done, because I'm going to be of good cheer, knowing our Christ has overcome sin and the world. That same scripture we love, hate, or ignore will be there. Jesus Christ loved his neighbor, to say the least, warning in this life, you will have tribulation, but be of good cheer because of something he did behind the scenes for us, his sheep. There are always things going on behind the scene. Now, we have all been MK Ultra'd like Charlie Manson and everyone else to some extent, because we've seen the propaganda put out in the world, trained by their thinking machines. God speaks in the Bible. Some he will awake with a new heart and open eyes to hear the word. Awake thanks to Christ brings a desire to live for Christ, meaning no more, no less than a 180-degree opposite lifestyle of the Charlie Manson. And why the familiar name, the nickname I put in the title? Not Lee Harvey Oswald or John Wayne Gacy, John Wilkes Booth, Lee Harvey Oswald. Even Jeffrey Dahmer is more familiarized than old Charlie. Charlie is, Willy Wonka waxwork boy. All Charlies in culture, aren't they, really nice? And Charlie could talk about how he hung out with the Beach Boys and New Famous People and the Beatles. The Roman Polanski got in the news with light and proof of evil sexual views. And he could have been presented as just as evil as Charlie Manson, the Roman Polanski, who is celebrated in Hollywood. And then Charlie Manson's psychologist was the last guy that saw Jack Ruby before he turned in from a man who was mad that Oswald was going to, kill the president, and he was a patriot, until he turned into a babbling idiot and died. The same psychologist, the man who killed Lee Harvey Oswald, did have a connection to that same type of treatment. So I have a bunch of tabs we have pulled up. Hey, Matt G. So much good information here. I wish there was more people to do it. But, if we're going to accept the Lord's will as being done, then right now it is a very small road. But this will come out. We had Let's see. We just for everybody to know, of course, Dabu 7 put out. We've been looking at the CERN, trying to do two things at one time. Never before seen particles. Well, we got that. Thank you. Somebody did a comment on this. Let's look at this video.
Arriving by air from Los Angeles, evangelist Krishna Venter, a self-styled new messiah, and his wife surprised Londoners on a spring morning in St. James's Park. Shoeless and garbed in powder blue robes, the gospeler, who says he lived nearly 2,000 years ago, is making a world tour to meet the common people.
Krishna Venta, the creator and leader of the Fountain of the World cult, believed that there was going to be a race war, that he was the Messiah. He and his followers would go out in the middle of the desert and wait till the war was over and then rule the world. The very same idea Manson copied in his so-called...
Wait, what dude are you talking about? Homie is high as a kite. That's a funny name. Dada Poo Poo.
Cathedral.
Yeah, it's a cathedral.
Thunder and light. How you doing, Dada?
He said, the dude that keeps pretending he's listening, then being like, wait, what?
Yeah, he's talking about me?
I have no clue. It's just funny, no disrespect.
Cathedral and Tippy Sky Electricity. Okay, clarified it.
Cathedral. Oh, okay.
Welcome.
What's up? Welcome, Dada Poo Poo. So were you talking about Loyal Tangie? Which is right below me? Poo Poo, what is your pick? Can't make it out. Yeah.
Helter-Skelter theory. The first use of the term helter-skelter came from the song with the same name in the Beatles' White Album.
Tavistock.
A little bit.
On an acid trip. I'm talking June Cleaver on LSD.
Everything is in color, and I can feel the air. I can see it. I can see all the molecules.
Like Christ, and he had the answers. For as twisted as it all got, I really think that I felt that I had met someone that, by being around him, would have a positive change.
Believed that there was going to be a race war.
He wanted to incite this race war because he had convinced his followers that through messages he received from the Beatles' White Album, from their lyrics, from biblical Old Testament prophecy.
Well, this is what is amazing to me, is that it always comes down to, a care.
Damn, when he came in, I got scared. Is that just me, or was that you too?
Who?
When Alan came in, he scared me because he was hecka loud. You watch.
It is amazing.
Probably because you have headphones on.
Well, this is what is amazing to me.
Yeah, my guy was hecka loud.
Is that it always comes down to, a charismatic personality redoing, there's going to be a race war. And the way I think about it is it just seems funny that,
what?
Isn't that what it always comes down to? It's going to be a race war between ethnicities because of, the nations. And in theology, in what I could call, mud flood theology, the theology I believe in, we have 1,000 years where Satan could no longer deceive the nations. And then a period of time that, through the same Old Testament prophecies and then looking at way our government does, I've come up with, it's like 1711. And then everything is working towards a culmination of a Gog Magog back to a one language. Just like the Tower of Babel, we're working towards everybody in the world will understand it. It just seems it's so obvious. What we need to do is just, the world presented a Charlie. And since 1970, everybody in the world knows about him that has grown up. And, I was alive when all of that was happening, as we'll see, even, assassinations against Gerald Ford, the guy that basically became president, not being elected, not even to vice president. He was appointed vice president by Nixon because Nixon's vice president had to resign because of legal troubles.
Right.
And then when Nixon resigned, he was the president, and he assigned David Rockefeller. It's all too much, and we can accept like Static in the Attic and some of the others and just goes, well, it just seems like I got caught up in that Tartaria stuff, but then it just, it's all too crazy now. And it seems to me that we should just accept that, history is written and it's all, we got caught up in something that they're trying to make it seem like the mud flood movement, the Tartarian questioning was all part of their plan.
Yeah.
You're absolutely kidding me.
Yeah.
That's only something they'd be brazen enough to pull off. I want to say hello to Alicia Newman. So, how you doing? Let's keep going. Let's just keep rolling. We'll try to get through these things in order. So we had this. We can come back to that. Let's look at this is where you saw this man talking about it. He wrote this book. Some of these clips are from the Joe Rogan show.
Within the preceding 48 hours, Ruby had a psychotic break. He couldn't return to sanity. He had audio and visual hallucinations. During the exam, he said Ruby hid under a table because he thought there were people in the room trying to kill him. Told Wes that he could hear children's screams outside his jail cell as they were boiled alive. And Wes said he's completely insane. I mean, there was no evidence of Ruby being mentally ill prior to Wes' exam.
Yeah, and we're talking about Jack Ruby, and the person that they're dealing with, is this guy that wrote this book. Just brings out so many different things. He talks about Operation Chaos, something I don't think I had heard of until I was ready to do this show, as usual, as in my world.
You can only imagine how many operations there are.
Oh, I come across them constantly where people are saying, look up this one or that one. And it's like, yeah, it's always leads to some kind of operation that's going on.
Yeah.
Has been going on for a long time that we didn't know about.
Like, I just found out about Operation Looking Glass. I just found out about that.
Yeah. The whole Chad Gamber said the whole hippie era was started by the CIA and the music industry. Yep. That's absolutely true, man. That whole hippie, what was it? Check in or tune in and check out or something was a common term back then, meaning just you know, with all the drug scene and everything like that. They demonize LSD and all these other things that turn out to have medicinal properties for people mentally with mental disorders and things like that. But when
Yeah.
abused, they can, you know, crush people.
Have you seen the Charles Manson DDR meme? Mm-mm. I have not. Almost everything but the Bible will be spotless. Yeah. I can't find it in my Insta. So
Charles
here's a
Manson
similar one.
DDR meme.
Hmm.
I know what DDR is, but I can't think of what
I don't.
I've seen.
I know what DDR RAM is.
I don't know what that is either.
I'm a computer geek.
I thought it was going to be just a fad, so I didn't really pay attention all these years until recently. I'm way behind.
Same here.
By the Holy Spirit, not the Holy Spirit. It's the 180 opposite of the world's friendship with Charlie.
Dance Revolution. That's what I know.
You know,
from.
Charlie and the Willy Wonka. It's Charlie.
Oh, okay. Dance Dance Revolution. I see.
Charlie.
Charles Manson DDR meme.
Are you looking it up?
Yeah. That's creepy.
Did you see it?
I think so. Let me.
What do you think it is about me that makes people want to be a part of whatever it is?
Cause every time we touch, I get the feeling, and every time we kiss, I swear I could fly. Can't you feel my heartbeat now? I want this to last. Need you by my side. Cause every time we touch, I feel the static, and every time we kiss, I reach the sky.
Thanks for that armor rating. That was hilarious.
Oh, man.
That is so funny.
The fact that he just got up and started dancing like that, though.
Oh, yeah. I think that was a little quick, but yeah, I remember those motions. He was doing like, it looked like he was halfway between a wizard and some cheese or something. Martial art.
Goodness. Whoa.
Slash. He just pop locked right there at the end. You see that?
He did. Whoa.
Right at the very end.
Right here.
Yeah, right there. Yeah. Oh, he's good.
Wow.
Yeah. I forget what he was saying here, but I remember this. Yeah, the guy asked him a question and he's like, I could do this and I could do that. And he's just wowing him with his acting skills.
Wow.
You'd think like, I don't know.
That means, sure, he's crazy as mad as a hatter. What difference does it make? You know, a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a phony.
Whatever it is you're a part of.
I'm brand new. Everything I do is always brand new.
Yep, it was one of his parole hearings.
He said everything I do is brand new.
Yeah, that door back there didn't lead to jail. It led to a limousine that took him to some mansion.
Yeah, it did. For sure.
Part of his job today and then loaded back up.
Yeah.
I'm on the premise of reality. I walk a real road. I'm a real person inside. I'm not a phony. I don't put on no airs. I say what I think, You see what I'm saying?
Aren't you putting on an air now? Aren't you putting on an act for me?
When you look it back, see if it's an air. See if where you get it. And someone sees it and goes by and they say, hey, how you doing? I say, pretty good. How you be?
Live in. Well, God, I guess you're my best friend, being I invented you.
You believe in God, Charlie?
Sure, I believe in myself. Why wouldn't I? Which one?
Are you Jesus Christ?
Which Jesus? There's all kinds of Jesuses. There's a black Jesus down in Florida. He's having a good time. There's a Mexican Jesus in Mexico. I mean...
Huh?
Donna was asking if this is live. I said, yeah, we're live.
There's all kinds of...
Yeah, we're live. We are.
Jewish Jesus, I mean, Jesus, you know, it's all kind of Jesus coming back everywhere. And nothing can stop it. It's a consciousness that lives in your mind. You know.
Tell me a little bit about your background. Tell me, if you could describe your childhood in a couple of sentences, how would you describe it?
I didn't have a childhood.
Tell me a little bit more. Tell me more.
I went to reform school in '43, and I've been fighting ever since.
Was it as bad as you describe in the book that was co-authored by Newell Emery?
That wasn't my book.
That wasn't your book? No. But what about the parts describing your childhood and your experiences in reform school?
That was him writing the book.
So
the
part about that school in Indiana, that's not true, how you were treated?
Bits and parts of it are true, and bits and parts of it aren't.
Tell me how you would describe how bad it was for you in these reform schools.
A child don't know what bad is.
Well, he says in the book that you were raped, that you were beaten constantly.
Come on, man.
That's not true.
That's what he would like to believe. But there ain't nobody can do that.
So you're saying that that didn't happen?
No.
So you didn't have a lousy childhood then?
Yeah, I had a terrible childhood. But I'm from here.
In other words, it didn't get to you?
No, I've never sold out. They've never beat me. I haven't been beaten.
Tell me about your terrible childhood.
The child doesn't know what terrible is.
You don't want to talk about it, I think.
I'm telling you, a child doesn't know what terrible is.
Give me a little
terrible, man?
Give me a little description of it.
What is terrible? You know, terrible. What does that mean, terrible?
I don't know. You used the word, so I'm trying to get you to
No, I didn't. He used the word in his book. I didn't. I'm not a sniveler. I don't cry. I don't snivel. I don't look for excuses to get off on other things.
Do you feel blame? Are you mad? Do you feel like Wolf's Bob Referendus?
Something. The oven has SS written on it. I come out of the bakery in 1954. So someone's got to be killed. Somebody told somebody some lies, and somebody's going to kill somebody. So I come out of the bakery pushing the broom, and they got this guy in the butcher shop, and they're stabbing him to death. I'm walking a line. I'm not a snitch. I don't run and tell the cops tales. I stand on my own 2 feet. So one of them looks over and says, "Manson, get on the point." So I take the broom and I get on the point. And I'm watching, and I'm thinking, that tramp better not move from me. If he moves to me, I'm going to take him home to his mama, you dig? So he doesn't move to me, and I don't move to him. So they got this guy, and they stabbed him to death. And you can't kill anyone in the kitchen in a penitentiary because it makes it bad for the food. It's bad for everyone. It creates a lot of paranoia. So they're cutting this guy in half, and they're trying to put him in the garbage can. They can't get him in the garbage can. So they cut him in half and bent him, and they got the elevator, and they're smashing the elevator down, trying to put him in the can. He's got half in one can and half in the other can, and they're trying to smuggle him out of the kitchen. And they smuggle him out of the kitchen, and I'm pushing the floor. The guy come up and says, "What happened?" I said, "What happened where?" He said, "What did you see?" I said, "See what? Where? What are you talking about?" "I don't see nothing, man. All my life, I've been on that line. I don't ever see anything. I know nothing. I know nothing. I'm zero. I don't get involved. I don't run and tell them cops protect me. I protect myself. And whatever happens, happens, man. People getting killed around me is no new thing. You come to prison, man, there's people getting killed in prison all the time. You go to San Quentin, these men, every time they walk the yard, they got to wear, you got your, no, yeah, look, he got to wear shields, man. In other words, you got all kinds of violence and fear that runs in these places. When you live a life like that, it becomes a natural thing, you know. I don't want to take my time going to work. I got a motorcycle and a sleeping bag and 10 or 15 girls. What the hell I want to go off and go to work for? Work for what? Money? I got all the money in the world. I'm the king, man. I run the underworld, guy. I decide who does what and where they do it at. When am I going to run around and act like I'm some teeny bopper somewhere for somebody else's money? I make the money, man. I roll the nickels. The game is mine. I deal the cards. The mind is endless. You put me in a dark, solitary cell. And to you, that's the end. To me, it's the beginning. It's a universe in there. There's a world in there. I'm free.
Wow. That was
Quite-
something.
Quite the character.
Quite the character for sure.
He's really on it.
Yeah. I mean, he made some really good points, though, if you ask me. He was saying some things that I would agree with. Not everything, of course, but like when he said when they lock him up, you know, if you lock him up, put him in a jail cell, that's like the end, you know, for what regular people would think, but to him it's like a whole new universe in his brain. Interesting stuff. Good morning, Angel.
Huh. That was Charles Manson,
Yeah,
CIA operative.
Mr. Charles Manson.
But it looks like he was legitimately on some kind of altering substance.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking like maybe PCP or something, the way his arms were moving and stuff. The way he was getting aggressive unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Flipping personalities so quickly. But ultimately, yeah, I don't believe that he's like the person that he's known to be, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I'm just, of course, not. I didn't come up with that theory, but as you see, you know, Alan also has already previously covered that.
Yeah, he sure did.
But yeah, the
Yeah.
whole hate in Ashbury, you can go in the rabbit hole with all that too. It's, you know, the whole San Francisco hippie scene that, you know, generated everything it did.
Mm-hmm. Manson looks like the main dad on Duck Dynasty. Scary, and that's guys. It's so phony. Talk about God and Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of things that he said in there that I didn't agree with either.
Yeah, all those things like Duck Dynasty, that's all just TV staged. Pick out the people that look like they should be those kind of individuals. And of course, one guy's going to be all about preaching God and Jesus.
Yeah. But
This guy
yeah.
supposedly made millions and millions of dollars off duck collars originally or something from Duck Dynasty. I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe
Could
there's
be.
that many people out there hunting duck and buying top quality duck collars. I don't know. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah. For sure.
But like the lion, whatever that Tiger King or Lion King thing, where the girl gets some lion to attack the dude. I didn't even watch any of that. I just heard the aftermath right away. I was like, before even the culmination of it all, where the lion attack or the tiger attacked somebody, I was already skeptical hearing people talking about it. And then when that happened, I was just like, oh yeah, of course. but then it was like also had an agenda to it. It was promoting like you had like gay characters or whatever. The Lion King, yeah. Wasn't the girl a lesbian or something weird was going on that we
I
had
didn't see that yet.
that we had knowledge of too.
You can find it on YouTube.
Probably. The Lion King, yeah.
Hmm. I can't find it. Well, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Oh, we've been on for 3 hours. Sorry you had to join so late, Angel. I know in the UK it's, the time difference. I don't think he was in jail. Just like Chapo, that drug dealer. Yeah, I don't think he was in jail either. I don't think so either. Like Loyal Tangie said, he could, right after that interview, he probably went to his mansion.
33-mile tunnel. Yeah, I never believed Chapo was in jail for any of that either. Who's gonna? Yeah, everything's just staged and.
Yeah.
But we're fortunate enough to know, it's not like it's not a sad thing for us. We know it's all an indication of them needing to do this to try and distract and dissuade people from the real life. Otherwise, they wouldn't need to do any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to keep the veil over the purpose and the reason that we're here.
Makes me feel like I don't even want to watch boxing anymore. Because I know that there's been a lot of fixed fights for sure.
Oh,
I know that. For sure. That Mayweather and Maidana fight. You remember that fight?
I may have seen. I do know Mayweather to just run around the boxing ring for the whole time. At least the one fight that I saw that he was fighting. Some people call that strategy or whatever, but I mean, a fight. You go in a boxing ring to fight. You're supposed to fight. I don't think you're supposed to be running away the whole time. But
going
yeah,
run away.
The amount of money that's made, that was mentioned also in the comments earlier, from gambling, and when a sure thing, we hear that in movies all the time. I got a sure thing on a horse, or a sure thing on this. Those sure things were sure things. People did have kinds of tips. A lot of guys got the wrong tips, but the guys that got the right tips, that knew they were the right ones, those guys put down chunks of money, and they did it again and again. When you can fix something, and it's so easy. You take two poor guys who spent their life training to fight people, which there's no future in that really, other than if you're good enough and moldable enough to be a part of professional boxing.
Yeah.
These guys, but I saw something recently. The most recent boxing match I saw, my neighbor actually invited me over, and I wouldn't have normally gone, but I was just kind of trying to be nice, mostly just talked with them and stuff. But it was the third time these guys, it was the most recent fight that just was on pay-per-view like 2 weeks ago. It's supposedly the third time these guys get together, and I guess they were just like at each other's throat, like, you know, in the when they were doing their press conferences and things, and just all just gonna rip each other apart, you know. And all they did was just like, it looked like two friends that were trying to box as hard as they could without really hurting each other, you know.
Wow.
And I've just seen so many wasted fights like this, you know. And for one, it's just, you know, it's violence on another human being, so there's that whole aspect.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's not coming from anything ultimately good. We're not supposed to be, you know, doing that or enjoying it ultimately. You can have, you know, as a training and stuff like that, that's cool.
Yeah, for self-defense.
You know,
Yeah.
self-defense and whatever. Definitely helps you with that kind of stuff. But these people that are in up in there, they're definitely about yeah, because boxing is actually turns out to be an excellent sport for your back and your legs and everything.
Yeah, endurance.
You get a great body, a usable body too, you know, not too much muscle on you.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Like bodybuilders with arms so big they can't even wipe their butts.
Yeah. That's so true. And I heard it's easier for, like, if you had the exact same weight, like two people, one of them weighed, or they both weighed 400 pounds, and one of them's a bodybuilder and the other one is just fat, it'll be easier for the fatter person to wipe than it is for the bodybuilder.
Yeah.
I guess it's because all their muscles become stiff and it's just, they're like a freaking they can't maneuver. Look at NASA. It's April Fool's Day every day there, and they rob you while they hide God. Yep.
So
Yep.
true.
Yeah.
Yep. They still have their productions. Today was another example. I mean, they how many hundreds of millions of dollars did this experiment cost, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And then, you know what was funny about the part on that is the guy that, remember I said that's one of the head guys of the space division?
Uh-huh.
The suit. I forget what his name was, but they were in another interview. When he was explaining what was going to happen, he said, "Yeah, there's almost no chance that it could, you know, there's almost zero chance that this could be a mistake, you know." So even it's all, but he's still like throwing it in there, like, "Oh yeah, you know, we could possibly divert it into the trajectory of the Earth and have a massive problem here." Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Armored Raven.
Yeah, no coincidences there. Fits perfectly. And it means to deceive in Hebrew. That's been said many times, but for anyone that hasn't heard that, that's absolutely true.
Oh, you'd be surprised. There's quite a few people who don't know that.
No, Werner von Braun, a full-blown Nazi from World War II that was wanted for war crimes, immediately transitions to the United States and with millions of American dollars starts up the space station along with Jet Propulsion Labs and stuff, JPL.
Yeah.
What's crazy is when you see, if you want to see some real funny stuff, is looking at other countries. Like I think China supposedly has something going on or whatever. and definitely Russia, but their stuff is just nowhere near. Well, I wouldn't say quality of NASA, but compared to for the term needed, yeah, the quality's way less than NASA. It's like they're in a barn or something.
Wow. So this is the logo.
Yeah. What's that called? The
Delta
There's
Space Force.
Something else. That's not the chevron. That's the. It's funny because it's the same thing they use in Star Trek. Isn't it? Delta 18. There's another flag that just is not too old, recently came out. I think it's a new UN flag, maybe. And it's like a lotus flower. And someone was commenting that it's basically a flat earth map because the ley lines that we have, if you set them out properly the way the flat earth is, that's how they show as a somatic type of geometry, yeah, somatic geometric design. Whereas on a globe Earth, you see these lines and they don't make any sense other than they do connect extreme points of interest along the way.
I always thought this logo had something to do with Ezekiel's wheels or the looking glass.
Yeah, some of those things that are shaped like gears and stuff, I've seen stuff that are actually like visual hypnotics. Like they used to do it a lot before newscasts. I don't know if they do because I don't watch mainstream news anymore, but they would say, okay, channel 7, shh, and all these like doors would open and expose these gears that were turning in different ways, and almost some of them looking like portals because they were open, and then like a door opening out this way, and here's a big circle portal that the camera goes through kind of thing. It's all digital, but it was just like I found out for a couple areas that some of that stuff is like visual hypnotics. The gears, the ones that look like they're just like a bunch of gears turning, one turning another, but something in that. I don't know exactly what it is.
There's definitely something with this logo here. For sure.
Well, we know that light frequencies and certain patterns can cause people to have seizures and stuff. What other kind of things that we can visually look upon that can cause us to be paused in our thinking, or maybe stimulate our brain in a way that we feel a desire, desire to continue watching what is taking place before us. Just like the way good music to our ears causes us to, as we're passing by, it catches our ear, and then we're like, oh yeah, now it's in our head.
Yeah. Yeah, this definitely reminds me of the Project Looking Glass.
But yeah, on the next one, when we get together, I'll definitely have this figured out and be able to share a lot more stuff that I've been saving.
Yeah,
on the screen.
For sure. Sounds good, bro. Yeah, I'm about to call it. I'm over here feeling drowsy now.
Yep. It's been a good minute here.
Yep, 3 hours and a
good
half.
comments and a lot of good people.
For sure.
Us too. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate you all joining, man. I will be on probably tomorrow. We'll see. Yeah, it has been fun, Armored Raven. Thank you so much for joining, man. And I'm sticking around. But, yeah. As always.
Yeah, glad to be here, a part of the community and a part of all these people looking for the truth. And appreciate everyone that's here. Definitely.
Yeah.
Our Father continue to bless us for our efforts.
For sure.
Have a great night,
Out
everyone.
there, be blessed. Until next time.
You say one word, I say amazing. Yeah. You say one word, I say amazing.